Hey, welcome to episode number 42 of Red River Podcast. We are really cranking them out. I remember starting.
Fire this shit.
I remember starting If I Ruled the World, like when we were like, I don't know, at like number 39 or.
Already surpassed.
Oh,
You're gonna lap us.
Yeah, I think so. We're fucking just shitting them out over there.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time to put together this quality that we get to do.
Shit ain't
so.
easy.
Nah.
It might sound easy, but it ain't.
Yeah,
Right.
we make it sound. So today we're going to talk some shit, and we invited two of our friends over. And I think we also really want to jump into 1999 because I don't remember how it even started.
It was like a 20-year. You posted something about like a 20-year retrospective of albums that came out.
Maybe it was Clarity.
The Clarity thing, I think,
Clarity.
kicked it off because we all posted about it.
Well, I read
the same morning.
Well, Antonio Longo's here and Mike Milamo's here.
What's up?
What's going on? Mike Milamo's back for his 18th time.
I'm ready.
You're like our Jim J. Butler.
He's out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Perfect.
One time
I
you just
love that.
I think you just sat on the couch
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was a spectator.
watching the Mets or some shit.
Yeah.
You were
that's-
watching the Mets
Yeah.
while two Yankee fans talked.
Had a podcast.
Absolutely. But yeah, because Antonio put up a Clarity thing, right? Like it
Yeah.
meant a lot to you, right?
Oh yeah, it's probably my favorite record of all time because it's one of those albums where they went through a lot after that record, and then that point in my life too. Like I listened to it every night before I went to sleep. Like I think for like a full year, and to think that record got them dropped off their label blows my mind.
It's
You know what I mean?
it's amazing when something like that happens because a few years after that, Wilco did the same thing. So Wilco started recording a documentary called, whatever. It wasn't called that. I'm Trying to Break Your Heart at that time, but they were filming this documentary of the making of their record Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. And at the filming of it, they get dropped by Warner Brothers, and because they hand in this record that turns out to be their biggest record later on. But the record label, Warner Brothers, was just like, nah, they're like, we're not feeling it. So they ended up leaving and basically not starting their career, but they blew up after that record, and then they turned into the band that could sell out MSG for like 3 nights.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're a great band.
And to think because Static Prevails was also on a major.
Yeah.
And it's like they gave them another shot at a record. They put out that amazing album, and then it was like after like I think 3 months they were like, sorry, it's just not moving, and they just dropped him. Boom, done. Which is great because it gave them freedom, and then that's how they went on to record Bleed American on their own.
What did you write
start
about
a
it?
Bidding war.
What did you write? Because you wrote a long ass fucking.
Yeah, well that's what I was
I
explaining.
read the first
how,
line and the last line, so you could fill us in on the middle.
The gist of it.
So basically, I feel like it's all, that record is like a metaphor for life. It's like you get the chance at major label, and then I think they kind of beat everybody to the major label thing. I think too, and a lot of people didn't even realize both those albums were on a major label. But and then you get dropped, and you feel like, oh, it's done. I mean, how many bands get that shot? I mean, Shift. They signed to a major label and then disappeared. So then
Orange 9.
Yeah, Orange 9, same thing. It just kept happening. Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Handsome.
Handsome.
Yeah,
Dude.
right? Exactly.
Right.
So it happens, and then they were like, no, we're not going to stop. It became, the fans loved them, so they stayed on the road nonstop for 2 years, saved every penny, and then recorded Bleed American on their own, produced it on their own, so they owned everything on it.
Unbelievable. And
then it started a
record-
bidding war. Every single label wanted it, and it was just like, all right, well, who's going to give us the most freedom? And whoever gives us the most freedom is basically going to get the record and us as a band. Same members, and blew
That's
up,
another
you know?
band that stayed the same.
Yeah,
Who's that?
all the same members.
Yeah, Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, my
Who was
God.
I talking to? Was it with you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, it was with Brian Marr.
And they all still live in Arizona, too.
Yeah.
It's like you usually get that. Well, one guy's in L.A. now. One guy lives in the city.
That's got to be
Manhattan.
something. But
Yeah.
we were talking about like how bands that just stayed together all through the years. We thought of U2.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
REM.
REM.
Def Leppard.
REM?
I mean, shit. If anybody's ride or die to keep it together,
Yeah, drummer lost an arm.
I would have kicked that guy out straight
right,
up.
seriously.
Immediately. Listen, it ain't working out. You got a fucking one arm, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of. I
You
mean,
can, we'll give you a job somewhere.
you
in a
can't
merch
even,
booth or
you
something.
can't even carry your own drums.
you
I
could,
know, man.
like now, you would need to kick him out. Back then, you could take 4 years in between records because they're still eating off that money.
Yeah.
Like now they're thinking like, shit, we got to hit the fucking road. We don't have time to you to learn how to fucking drum with one arm.
Yeah.
But you two and Jimmy Eat World are like the only four, because REM like fucking Barry, Paul.
Peter Buck?
No, Barry.
Bill
dead-
Barry?
He had a
Bill
brain
Barry.
aneurysm.
Yeah,
right?
he had an aneurysm, so he had to tap
injury?
out.
But
you're
they
out
went
of
on.
contention for injury? That
Actually, don't count.
That's fucked up
You're on the
criteria.
DL,
man.
Here's another thing about REM that I'll always remember, and I'm glad they didn't listen to this, but they said if one of us wasn't in this band, we would stop automatically, no questions asked.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they had plans to like stop playing as a band after 1999. I remember that was like the
So
plan.
his brain aneurysm didn't fit in with their plan. Selfish fuck.
Yeah, they were like, you know what?
Who brought this guy?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I read an article about recently with Robert Smith, and he said if the bass player, because they're the only two. I mean, there was only 3 members originally.
Yeah.
He said if he ever doesn't want to do the Cure anymore, I won't. I'm done.
You got to have something.
You know, there's
gallop.
there's. I mean, the drummer's been the same drummer for a while, but they went through a bunch of drummers and a bunch of second guitar players. But he was like, if he won't do it, I'm done.
Tolhurst alone played like every instrument at some point in time, right?
Yeah,
Like they
I think
bounced
so.
that guy everywhere.
And on top of that, like, you know, shit, I mean, a band that's been around for 40 years, right?
Yeah.
The Cure?
Yeah, 79.
Oh, yeah.
It was before
70
76. I
right?
think was the first technically record they put out. They hit in the U.S. in 81, but Boys Don't Cry came out in 78.
Right.
But it didn't hit the U.S.
Really?
radio till
Was
like
it 78?
early 80s, 80, 81. Yeah.
Are you pulling my chain? Because
swear
I
to
got
God.
Google
The,
here.
the
right
Peel
now.
sessions
No,
that
'cause
they
I-
did
Don't
were
make me Google.
77, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that
yeah.
They were kind of on the radar, you know?
Yeah. And you
It's crazy. I mean, the Misfits
'Cause I remember
came
thinking
out
I was-
in like 70. It's crazy how old
Yeah.
when you think
Misfits
about
77.
it. Yeah,
Joy
but when you think
Division.
about it, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because like whatever was going on there,
Sure.
you know, you think of like Kiss like trying to like play disco.
yeah. Well,
It's
The
funny.
one thing
They'll
about,
just throw anything at the wall and see
yeah,
what
that's what I'm
sticks.
saying. The one thing
Kinda
about Kiss,
cool.
the one thing about Kiss is like they don't care. They were like in the beginning, they're like, oh, you know, we'll do this like glam fucking like New York Dolls thing. Sure, why not? Then disco hits. They're like, yeah, let's try this disco thing. Then hair metal hits. It's like, yeah, let's try this hair metal thing.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
it's like when
Take off the makeup, put it back on.
Yeah.
Put half of it on.
And when Revenge came out, it was because like grunge hit, and they're like, oh, now we're gonna be dressed in like.
That's right.
Remember?
They didn't do that.
Yeah.
Did they? Kiss did that?
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't like full grunge.
Circle,
per se.
no,
Revenge was like the heaviest album because the drummer just died.
They would wear
So
like
they
a
went
leather
in there, like,
jacket
all
with a
angry
red
and
flannel
shit. So
underneath.
that's why it's
you
their
know.
heaviest album.
But then they
were they wearing flannel though? You said
no.
no, they made a grunge record.
They did.
Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
97.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't.
Thank God.
Yo, whatever
I only
it
go up
is,
to Hot in the
Yeah.
Shade.
I just picture them sitting there, you know, at their board meeting or whatever it is they do, and they just like look at this chart with like, you know, fucking like peaks and valleys, and they're like, oh, it looks like you know, hip hop. Yeah, seriously, how have they not made a trap record yet?
It was so funny whenever a metal band like
it can't be
in
any
that
worse.
90s thing tried to like
Yeah.
put on a pair of flannel, like it was so obvious like that because they were trying to survive. I mean, I get it, you know what I mean, but it looks so forced.
I
and
get
stupid,
it,
you know?
yeah, and it's
It's a big leap.
Yeah,
at that
really.
time. So, but so you saw Lords of Chaos.
I did.
Did anyone
At
else
the
see
Colt
it?
No,
Cafe.
I can't wait.
You wanted to say something about it, so
Yeah, I didn't want to put. I wanted to save it for the subscribers, the premium, this
Nice.
content.
Click to subscribe.
Yeah, I went to Colt Cafe.
I haven't seen
With
it.
Todd
so
Reynolds.
No.
Spoiler alert:
yeah.
Varg is a really bad guy. Yeah.
Oh, well, great.
He's
I
been
don't
known
guess
to
I need
stab
see it.
people. Yeah, there's really everybody knows the fucking Mayhem story.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
think at this point,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But a lot of people were bent out of shape about it, which I knew was going to happen. That happened as soon as they announced it. I would expect nothing else from a black metal community or anything else. But what people have to understand is, and there's no accurate rock biopics ever. I mean, really, if you get like 50% of it in the ballpark, otherwise watch the documentary.
Yeah.
Right.
There's always liberties taken. I love the Doors movie by Oliver Stone.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is
No
ridiculous.
Indian jumped into his spirit, and Raymond Zarek's watching the.
Wait,
none of
really?
that shit
Oh yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Sorry.
Wait, God wasn't on the phone calling him?
all that shit, and like he walked around spouting his song lyrics all the time. It's ridiculous, but I had a great time
He didn't
watching
fuck
it,
Meg Ryan?
and I'll watch it anytime
Oh, he did.
it's on. You know what I mean?
I love the Doors.
So
I love the Doors too.
I go
feel
into
like I defend the
biopics
Doors.
like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't expect it, and even in the beginning, it's like the truth and the lies. To, like,
Listen,
cover up
when
this
else are
bit.
you going to get a fucking black metal fucking movie?
This was it, probably ever.
Well, you don't know now because this may start off like
I don't know. What are you gonna? What? I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the genre, and you're not really gonna find a better story.
Yeah.
There's not.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
There's a lot happening there.
Tales from the Tour Bus.
Everyone else
season
is
3.
fairly boring compared to the Mayhem story.
Oh, that Mike Judge.
Yeah,
Killer
Mike
stuff.
Judge is doing the animated show. Maybe he'll do a season 3 of that.
Incredible.
Isn't that great?
Incredible show.
Did you watch?
I just want Metalocalypse.
I haven't
back.
seen the second season yet.
Yeah.
The first season's the best. The second
season is
season's a little bit
amazing.
more documentarian type shit.
Dude,
Where,
I think you'd have to, and then we can move on after this, but I feel like maybe I watched that first season with the country guys.
sure.
They may be crazier than the metal dudes
Yeah.
and
There's some crazy
hip-hop
stories.
dudes. Like, I mean, they would get drunk and shoot guns at each other and think it was funny. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah, like
they
when
were
I was
crazy.
watching like the story of like George Jones, I was just like, oh my god! I'm like, this guy's a lunatic. I'm like,
He
how is
looks like a chemistry teacher.
Yeah.
He was an absolute maniac.
Also, probably
was
sleeps with his
amazing.
cousin.
as long as his cousin's hot,
Yeah.
we don't frown upon it here at Red River. So continue.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it though overall. I mean, I definitely have some problems with it and stuff. Like Jonas Ackerlund, he's not that great a director. I think visually he does some cool stuff.
What else did he do?
Spun.
Oh, I like Spun.
Great
I thought
movie,
it's-
yeah.
I don't know. It's like his style is just a little busy. He's a music video director. Really.
Okay.
He was in Battery for a year.
Oh,
Who was
sweet.
really the original black metal
Sure,
band
sure.
in my book, but and he should have referenced that. But anyway, he
No
went
mention.
on to do videos for Madonna.
Sure.
Oh, legit.
The
But he's
name
like the
sounds
Hype
familiar.
Williams of like rock. Like,
Okay.
just stay in your lane, player. You know what I mean? But little things like nobody has a fucking. I get, all right, you didn't cast like it's not set with the Norwegian language. I'll accept that. It's all in English. It's easier that way. But not even no one has an accent. It could have been in Kansas.
Right, yeah.
No fucking snow.
Yeah.
Not a snowflake. It's fucking, and they shot it in Norway. You got to have a little snow in there.
Yeah.
It's fucking black metal. You know what I'm saying? But like little things like that. But the accents bother me. It would take me out of it a little bit.
Okay.
What do you mean the accent?
I mean, just put a.
The
They're
the
just
verbal
like sound
accent.
like
I'm
did it
sorry.
like a regular American. Like I don't know. It just
Or give an English accent like they do in every movie
like
where
they're
somebody
quick
does.
to remind you. They use the
Yeah.
word true Norwegian black metal, which wasn't a term like people just they called themselves at that time and stuff. They're constantly Norway, but it really takes you out of like this could be in like Bakersfield, California. for all I know.
Overall, how did you feel?
It's definitely entertaining and worth a watch. My biggest beef with it was like the tone. It doesn't know some of it's some really heavy subject matter and a lot of weird place jokes like that are like in weird scenes. Like it's like, is it a black comedy? It's all that shit, but it's the pacing and the tone of it. It was kind of it
Was
threw
it
me off.
long?
It was long.
Yeah.
Like it's based off the book. I read the book, which is like a true crime book. It's not really about the music, and it's supposed to be the story of Mayhem, but they also crowbarred in how that drummer of Emperor Frost he killed this gay dude or whatever. Like they didn't need they could have cut that 20 minutes out and tightened
Sure.
it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So like just little stuff like that. But the tone that bothered me the most, and I thought the Culkin kid was great.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He really is, man. Like he played it to a T. They all look good. The guy that played Varg, he was really heavy set. Varg's a thin fella,
Sure. Yeah, maybe.
and they had him like
Why did they do
Varg
that?
apparently was like slaying the puss.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of scenes of Varg hammering out a bunch
Sure.
of girls like he was like Vince Neil in 1980. I'm like, I don't remember the part of this lore. I wasn't there, but it didn't seem like they were all about the ladies. They were more about whatever they had going on.
Burning
But
churches.
To summarize, how many burning churches do you give it?
there's a lot. Out of 5?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 3.
Okay.
3.5.
3 burning chairs.
Okay.
You know?
I'm
'Cause
definitely going to see it.
And the other bummer part is, and I knew they weren't going to have any, is no original music.
Oh yeah, because they couldn't get the okay.
They couldn't get the okay from anybody.
Yeah.
Dark Throne, Mayhem, and
yeah,
nobody
'cause
would
they
give
were
it
just
up.
like
So they
fuck off.
re-recorded the Mayhem songs.
Yeah.
Like, which if your average person, they're going to tell that mess from
Right away,
unless you're
yeah.
like really into the finer aspects of it. Like
they
it
don't
just
get
sounds
it,
like
just
shit to
yeah.
me. And but it was a packed house. I was impressed at that Cold
You
Cafe.
went with Show 'em Back.
I went with no,
Mark.
he didn't. He couldn't make it.
Oh, he couldn't,
Todd
'cause he
Reynolds.
loved-
Shout
okay.
out Todd Reynolds. We went down there. One guy had his face painted.
Sick.
I gotta say,
Nice.
guy in a Black Label Society fucking vest and a face paint.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like, right on, fella.
There you go,
And
buddy.
they actually turned people away.
Okay,
Like I'm
'cause-
glad I bought a ticket in advance
Oh, 'cause
because there
it
were
was
people
full-
waiting
yeah.
out front. They had to wait and turned away. So the turnout was good, and people were laughing and having a good time and stuff. So overall, it was good. People need to lighten the fuck up.
Seriously.
Yeah,
You know,
movies are
get
supposed to
over it.
entertain you.
You don't own the genre.
Everyone,
you don't own anything.
everyone except Derek Schilling.
Farg's the only one. Farg's the only one that's really upset because he
Derek-
felt he was portrayed badly. You
Derek
know?
Schilling is very mad for some reason.
an angry
in
dude.
this movie. Shout out to Derek. But
we weren't there. We didn't do
Lindenhurst.
it. Whatever. It's entertainment. I recommend it. It's good. Get over yourself. It's
Yeah.
a fucking movie.
we,
That's my stance.
yeah,
Good
our,
for you,
our,
man.
our black metal audience there. But yeah, so moving forward for me, did anyone finish True Detective?
Haven't started it.
I think
yet.
I'm
started?
2 behind,
Two
1
behind?
behind. Yeah.
I can't finish the last one because
Oh, really? Why?
I don't have HBO and I was watching it with my girlfriend.
Oh, I thought it was for
We
like
just
some
broke up.
emotional reason. I didn't know it was for some poor reason.
I gotta wait.
I need someone's HBO
Yeah.
login.
HBO Go.
Yeah, message
What I'm
me
saying
on
right now
Facebook.
is if you could DM me.
Yo, slide up
Anybody
into
listening?
Antonio's DMs.
Slide into my DMs.
Okay, but everyone here saw Abducted in Plain Sight, right?
Oh yes.
No.
All right.
I know. I've seen the memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
That's
Go
all, that's
ahead.
all you need.
You could spoil it too. I don't give a fuck.
What did you guys think of that fucking documentary?
I think the father was 10 times creepier than the actual abductor.
Yeah.
I thought the whole entire situation was like I don't know these people. Obviously, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I've never
Offend.
seen a more clueless group of people in my life. I mean, that they just allowed all these things to happen multiple times. I mean,
Father is the hand release guy.
yeah, he
Yeah.
sure is. He sure is.
Yeah, in the memes. he's the hand
Yeah,
raised guy.
listen, you're
Who'd
watching
win in a fight?
you-
That guy or the dick sucker in Firefest?
the Dick
Probably the
Sucker.
Dick
Oh, the guy
Yeah,
at
Dick Sucker.
Firefest would destroy him.
So
was-
it's a story on Netflix, and I'm sure by now most people have seen it. And it starts off with an abduction, obviously, and then you go through the story, and it's one of the most absurd and ridiculous stories that you could like. You get to one part and you're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And then you keep peeling that onion and you're like, this is ridiculous
What
right
happens?
I was never so uncomfortable for an hour and 22 minutes in my life.
I was-
and I'm a father, and I
Yeah.
have a daughter.
Okay.
So I was like, not only was I just blown away about any of this happened, I was running through I would have murdered that guy the second he looked at my daughter that way. Like, I would be in jail. And then that's where the religion aspect comes into it. They're
They're
know,
Mormons, right?
Mormons.
no, well, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is that the same as Mormons? I don't want to sound
I
ignorant.
think it
but
is, right?
I think it's very close. Well, no, because they didn't have
It's
multiple
in the same.
wives.
It's like
Sounds about
it's
right.
like Methodist and Lutherans.
Do they wear the
Right.
magic underwear? Is that the one? That's the cutoff, I
That's
think.
the best.
Well, that's
Sets
where I
it
was
off.
confused because there was a lot of alien aspect to this, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, that religion came later in Scientology, so it was like a mixture. But apparently, they have to be very forgiving. Like, if they don't forgive, it's part of their like, So there's a twisted aspect to
They forgave
how,
a lot.
Yes,
Eight
and
wives.
that's where I read a Vanity Fair article online afterwards.
I want to
that-
date one of those
that-
then.
Yeah.
Forgive.
that was saying that they need to do another documentary just to explain to you the religious aspect of it. Answers a lot of the how is it even possible.
Yeah.
And it was just so disturbing.
Because
man.
for
I
me, like,
can't-
I'm watching it, and very few things, like even the R. Kelly thing, I'm watching it being like, okay, whatever, like this guy's obviously out of his
well, in a
mind.
weird way, I'm not saying it makes sense because I agree with it, but the R. Kelly thing, it's like, okay,
Yeah, like, okay, this guy's obviously got
girl,
some sort
twisted.
of fucking weird fucking shit going
Yes.
on. This other thing, I'm watching it, and I'm like almost getting angry. I'm like, how did no one kill this guy?
It's out in the open.
How did no one fucking murder this
It's
guy?
it's a perfect title for the documentary.
The entire
because
church
that's
knew.
the whole. It happened right out in front of everybody. It would be like if I just walked out of here with your daughter and I was like, yeah, my psychiatrist said that it would be good for me to spend the night with your daughter.
You
I
could take
think
my
it
daughter,
would.
but don't touch the My Pet Monster.
There's
fucking rules in this house,
I would
Malamo.
never. I come down here, I go straight to my seat. I don't touch. I look, but I don't touch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they just allow it to happen. It's mind-boggling. Nobody says, "Oh, yeah, oh my God."
I love it. I
can't.
love things like this because these stories are just bizarre, and now places like Netflix and Amazon and Hulu all fucking take them and condense them, like the Lorena Bobbitt one.
Well, it wasn't originally Netflix.
Oh, no?
It came out in 2017.
Okay.
And it was on TV, and nobody watched it.
No.
They released it in plain sight.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it.
And then
He'll be here
Netflix
all
picked
night.
it up. Netflix picked it up, and everybody saw it.
Yeah.
So it took some while. Like someone in Netflix saw it and was like, "We need this."
and you know what it
because
is?
it fits like.
And it does, and the thing with Netflix is it just gives it life. If you see
really
something
does.
on Channel 2 and I tell you, like, oh, just fucking look for it somehow, you can't. But if you find something on Netflix, like,
It's there.
it's one of those things, like, like, you watch something from, like, Ozark to any just bizarre documentary, and you start seeing it on Facebook and Instagram, like, holy shit, this, and everyone feels out there, like, what is this?
That's why it's
oh,
the best.
Fire
I don't ever
Festival.
turn on like regular television like ever anymore.
Yeah.
Almost.
No,
You know what I mean?
neither do I.
Yeah, if it's not sports, I pretty much am not watching it live.
My always question: is it on Netflix? Is it on Prime? Is it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess I'm not going to see that.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Hulu, you know what I'm saying? But if it's I saw something on Channel 2, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, I guess tell me about it.
Well done.
So you just started recording a record, right, Mike?
Yes. Yeah. We're
New
pretty
band?
well into it.
Well, a newer band to us.
Yeah, Star Harbor. It's got like I don't know if I'm gonna. I may lose the entire hardcore community right now.
They're gone.
Sam's not in it. Don't worry.
Sam will vouch for you. He's got credit.
This is why I feel comfortable burying my soul in this basement because you guys are awesome. So it's got almost like a country jammy thing happening. There's definitely some rock and roll, definitely some threads of indie rock. It's who we are. That shows through every now and again. But it's
Black metal.
absolutely. Oh my God, the face paint.
I figured.
Yeah, even when we recorded, we did the face.
Nice.
paint.
You got it.
Yeah.
You did it over at Voodoo, which is a super
Yes,
nice
dude.
place.
These guys
Did
were.
you mortgage your house, or what did you do?
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. I don't think I've been to some good studios. I've never had a better recording experience.
They do great work there.
And just the environment, it's almost like you're in a log cabin up in the mountains in like Vermont or whatever, and then you walk to the end of the driveway and you're like, oh, poor Jeff.
That's awesome.
But it's a great experience. The record is, whether or not you like the music, I think it's going to be the best recorded album I've ever been involved in, which is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever happens after that happens. But it's nice to finally be involved in the full complement of what I've always wanted. I've had it close a couple times, but this music is going to be more marketable, and it's nice to play something for some of my friends and family who don't really care about hardcore, where they're not like, all right, it's nice, but do you have to scream so much? And then immediately I realize I've just lost 70% of the audience we thought we may have had. So it'll be good to bring this around and just have it be something that's easy to listen to and be familiar on a couple different levels. So
How far along are you? Like when? Where
we
you at?
have Saturday morning. We're gonna put in the keys, and then I'm gonna finish up some vocals. Then we may take one more day just to listen over and maybe drop in a few things here and there, and then it goes to mixing. So I would say by the spring, late spring, early summer, it should
Sweet.
it should
some
drop.
shows too.
What's that?
Gonna do some shows.
Definitely going to do some shows.
Cool.
We're at this point trying to figure out if we're going to wait until I feel like it almost makes sense to wait until the record comes out to have a show, but that's not definite, So you guys will hear from my publicist.
Nice.
We'll get you back on a sixth time.
Yeah.
And it drops.
if Fish asks you to
I'm
open a
paving
show,
the way.
then you'll do it.
100%. I would love to do that.
Antonio, I know that
What up?
you started a band, which I guess I didn't see the light of day, man. You named it after a Sam I Am fan.
Yeah.
A Sam I Am song, and I was like, man, I wish I would have thought of that name instead of Playing Dead, which is like the stupidest name ever.
You have no idea how many people love that name. But
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't want
great
to take
name.
away from it because it's just a great name. It's simple and it's obvious.
It's
and
marketable.
It's just great.
It's not obvious because I fucking everyone's like it's a Grateful Dead tribute, but I'm like, no,
You should
it's
barg
like-
those fucking guys.
I never
man.
thought that,
You should
actually.
barg that.
Yeah,
band.
I
You-
never thought that.
You would never think that because we wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
Right.
But to some people, that's one day, this dude messages me on our messenger for the band, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "What's up with these new songs?" And I like click onto his profile. He's got tie dye on. I was like, man. I was like, yo. I'm like, we're not. Like, what is it on this page that you think we do trip? Like, it just.
Yeah.
You
He's
should
like-
play a show with them and
Maybe
squash
because
the
it-
beef, man.
That
Yeah.
would be
East Coast, West
unbelievable.
Coast went too far, man. Take it, learn the
Maybe
lessons.
it's because
man.
he thinks you look like a young Jerry Garcia.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Oh,
So, I have all my fingers.
Yeah.
Definitely.
right.
But like, so like, I'm talking to him, and he's just like, well, you shouldn't name your band something like this if you didn't want people to think that. And I'm thinking like, have you ever heard of like Return of the Living Dead, The Walking Dead, The Living Dead? Like,
Yeah.
I that was the furthest thing from my mind. was-
Jerry invented being dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead was around a long time.
The
Yeah.
worst.
Heads.
But
The ordinary life. Yeah.
yeah, back to Antonio. So, man, you've never stopped writing songs. I know that much.
It's just finding the people, man, is the hardest part.
It's hard.
It's like you get a group of guys together, and then next thing you know, this guy can't do it. Now you're replacing a guy, and now the other guy wants to play things this way, and da-da-da, or this guy can't practice on Mondays. That's like the older I get, it's just harder to put everyone's schedules together, and it's just like, it's so frustrating. And I get it, because I was there too, but now my kids are getting a little bit older. I'm divorced. Sometimes I don't have my kids. So now I'm like, oh, wow. I've lived by myself for the first time in over a decade, and I don't have the kids on it. I'm like, I can write music. I can play music. This is fucking crazy,
And you play guitar and you sing. You could always, as much as we like playing with bands, you also have the ability to just go play a show by yourself.
Yeah, I
which
mean,
you
and
were
that's the
doing
thing.
for a while.
I was getting burnt out playing solo.
Sure.
And then, I was back into full band mode, and then, I was getting ready to do it again, and then now I'm back to playing solo again. But I'm actually okay with it, and I would like to maybe put people behind it at some point. So that's why, like we were saying, I'm not going to call it Antonio Longo because I've never been a big fan of that. Even with singer-songwriters,
do you know
it's hard to do.
Do you know how Parker used to pronounce your last name?
No.
Luongo.
Yeah.
Luongo.
One day, me and Keith Moore were here, and he's like, and like, for some reason, like your name came up, and I was like, what did you say his name was? He's like Luongo, and I'm like, it's Longo.
Well, I was like, if you said Garcia, that was my birth name.
There you go.
Right.
I
Wasn't
had
Garcia.
I had a name change. Part of the reason I changed my last name was because people would be like,
Everyone
"Are you
thought he was
related to
in a Dead
Jerry
cover
Garcia?"
band.
Yeah, no
Maybe
joke.
you fucking should join Playing Dead and just fucking let's get the.
Well,
Wait a
I've
minute.
always wanted to do a band with this guy, but he's in too many.
Wait a minute. So you were being asked.
Yeah, are you related to Jerry? And I'm like, no. I'm like, it's a very common name.
Yeah, it's pretty common. It's like the Hispanic.
Welcome to my
Smith.
life. The last name
Yeah.
Parker.
yeah.
And I have brothers that I make the fucking board games that I do this.
Yeah,
like
yeah, of
fucking
course.
shut the fuck up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I had never.
you related to
and when
Dave
people were
Parker?
asked, yeah. And when
Peter Parker.
Dave Parker from the A's.
And honestly,
I know.
in high school, I had never even listened to a Dead song.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't a Deadhead. She was more, Beatles,
had good taste.
Dylan.
Yeah.
She raised you
Joe
right.
Miles. Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't even know who they are, And then it wasn't until probably I think like 3 years ago or 2 years ago when Chris Kutzes opened his new tattoo shop and he would play like live Dead all the time. I'm like, oh, this is cool. What is this? And that riff is interesting. And I'm like, I get why people like it.
Absolutely.
And now I'm hearing not just the hits you hear on the radio.
sure,
And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. It's not
They're a
my
great band.
thing, but okay.
There's no
They're a great
question
band.
of
Like,
talent.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's
Great band.
just
But I
whether it
never
grabs you or
really
not,
listened to
you know.
them. And I was,
It's like Stockholm syndrome.
tell
is
you what.
basically what you were experiencing.
Side note, I don't like the Dead obviously either, but I watched the document because I watch a document for everybody.
There you
The
go.
one on
Good
Bob
for you,
Weir
man.
on Netflix.
Weird something.
Yeah, yo, let me tell you, Bob Weir like did better. Vince
Slaying the
Neil,
Puss?
Oh my
Nice.
God!
Was it?
More than
Imagine
Varg?
being the one normal-looking person in this big band that had
all
tons of
ugly
girls.
hippies.
Yeah.
He's the only one that looked like a human being.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That dude was killing it.
You know
yo.
what? That's a good
Killing
point.
it.
How many, like, we should make a top 5 of how many, like, ugly bands there are with the one
With
guy.
one guy?
With the
Yeah.
one-
With
Yeah.
the one,
With the one
one
good-looking
normal-looking
guy?
guy.
Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Sex Pistols, absolutely.
Be that guy. That's what you want.
I'm sure.
If you're forming a band, make sure everyone else is uglier than you.
Yeah, make sure
Yeah,
you
You'll
hang
be
out.
all
Got
right.
it. Yeah.
Fucking
Just-
United States of America. Remember that fucking band? The fucking lump band?
Oh,
Presidents of the
Wait.
United States of America.
Who's the hot one in that group?
I think it was only 2 of them.
No, 3. It was 3 guys.
Three-piece.
Yeah.
Three-piece.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what
2
any of those
bald
guys
guys
look like.
and yeah,
One was
2
bald.
skinny bald
Drummer had
guys.
some like
Okay.
curly fucking hair or some shit.
That's why
He
Jack,
got the girls.
Jack White. That's why Jack White got Meg White.
There you
Yeah. Exactly.
Seriously. It worked
But
for Bob Weir.
Going back to, are we, like, we don't want to talk about anything else, all right? We could jump into 1999.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Are we getting in a hot tub time machine?
Yeah, we are. We're going to get into Hot Tub Time Machine.
So excited.
So
We're going to 99, not 79.
we're 1999. What do you remember? What were you doing, like 99?
You know, whenever we do one of these like things and we pick a year, it's always interesting because you start thinking about like where you were at, what you were doing, who you were hanging out with. It kind of jogs your memory, and I was like, man, what the fuck? Like that was like a weird blank. Fucking what was going on? I was DJing for a living. I was working like 6 nights a week, just DJing. I was living in Jersey City. I was only into like hip hop and drum and bass. And that was it.
Yeah.
I was not listening. I was like not into rock and roll anymore, like at all.
Yeah.
I just went to like this was like a phase where I was doing that.
Yeah.
So I was just out raising hell and partying and fucking. I was getting paid to DJ and have fucking.
Listen.
It was.
Say no more.
I don't
fam.
really want to get into a lot
yeah,
because I don't know.
Your wife don't listen. It's
There
cool.
could be a day when we explore some of these stories and it would be great, but not right now. But yeah, I was like, wow, what a different shift for me, like of what I was listening to. It was like a different world. But I love doing this and
Yeah.
thinking about like where I was at then.
It's
you know,
really
fun.
hard, you know, because for me, like, I can't remember, like, 20 years ago is a long time ago. But like I said, just now, I was sitting in a therapeutic community. I wasn't allowed to listen to music or things like that or watch movies at will. So my list was compiled mostly from things that I could look back on now and be like, oh, that record came out in 1999. I love it. So it wasn't like what I was listening
a lot
to
of
then.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. I found a
So
lot of
that's
this
kind of
stuff.
different for you. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, because I was for
Interesting way to-
2 or 3 years, like I was just sitting somewhere
I
wasting
found a
away.
lot of the titles that I found I grew to love, but it wasn't in 1999 that I was
Yeah.
playing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it happened.
Why don't you talk into the mic for me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Headphones, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking operation we got here. But yeah, like I discovered the albums not right then.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple years later.
Yeah,
or
it's fine.
Even recently, you know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
But yeah, I wanted to flash back and Mike, I know you were an Inside, right?
Yeah, that was the last year of Inside. That was a rough year for me personally. Long-time girlfriend, relationship over.
Was she a Dead fan?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was
yes.
asking you if she was
Yeah.
dead. I was
Yeah,
like,
but
I was like, not on the mic. Turn the mics off.
Too soon.
She started out probably being a hippie, but she was very much into the scene and good music. You know, she was just a very, very cool girl. But that ended, Inside ended, and I was at that point in my life where I was just like, now what? Like, what the hell do I go back to school? I just had no idea what to do with my life, and you know, I think that probably threw me into music even more at that point. But I was in a weird place because I didn't want to be in a band right away.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think I felt like I wanted to do something different, start listening to something different. Clarity, you know. That album probably is a hard thing to say because I don't know how much I mean it, but it may musically be more pleasing to me than any Sunny Day record. I really do think it's the best indie record ever.
I agree.
Maybe pop, maybe rock. Like it could cross a lot of
Songwriting
genres.
is phenomenal.
And it's dynamic, you know. And
Dynamic, for sure.
Goodbye Sky Harbor,
Sure.
which is, you know, I'm glad the songs 15 minutes long. I just
Oh.
wish there was more than just the first 3 minutes of,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
beautifulness that I
Absolutely.
wanted to hear more. But that record was
Although what's crazy is when they did the 10-year anniversary tour for that at Terminal 5, they played that whole part that long.
wow.
And it was actually really cool to see
like
it live.
17
sure.
minutes or
They
something?
played.
I'm sure.
It's like 17 minutes and like 30-something seconds, and they did the whole damn thing live at Terminal 5. And I was like, wow, they're gonna play the. They let that loop, and they were like making the noise with the guitars, and everybody was like,
Wait,
and it eyes open, like
you
yeah,
got to have a
it
lot
was
of balls
weird.
to fucking do
They-
that.
Yeah, and they pulled it off. I was shocked.
You got to have a lot of like.
There's nothing like live music.
No.
But you have to like really have the confidence to play a 17 and change song.
yeah.
You know, especially like those parts are dynamic to a point, but it's very repetitive towards the
Yeah,
end.
absolutely.
It just like keeps going and going and
Like the
going.
Grateful Dead.
But
They keep coming
Yes,
back,
yeah, very
yo.
much
yeah,
so.
but you know what though? They had never done that before. This was the 10-year anniversary of the record that pretty much made it that they were able to sustain a career. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm sure they were more than happy to play
Oh,
those
absolutely.
17 minutes.
They're a
you know.
monster band, man. Every time they come on, whether I stopped paying attention to them for a little while, just because they hit that point where they were getting super popular, and I was like, you know, I don't know if I want to take this journey with them, so I backed off. But then I would hear a couple songs off those records.
We're
and I'd
talking
be
about
like,
Jimmy Eat World for
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't know. By
Yeah,
the way.
so yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
sorry.
Yeah.
And,
Our resident black metal father here had no idea.
That's amazing. I'm sorry we're going on and on about this
yeah.
band,
Oh,
but-
come on.
He thought it was a drum and bass album.
Yeah. We could literally for me we could do a whole Jimmy Eat World episode.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. They have been writing impressive stuff since then. It just fell on deaf ears with me for a while, but they're
We'll get to those records, but in 1999, did you three guys play a show together once, like Parker, Longo, and fucking
I'm
Malama?
sure we did.
we probably.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we were in the same places
Yeah.
all the
We
time.
were still in
Yeah,
Sky Keep
that I mean
Falling.
that's kind of when we started like I guess like put our like
Play
asses in gear and started
Okay.
playing shows or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's funny because Cameron was going to Hofstra with Justin Beck from Glassjaw.
Sure.
And we
Right.
were definitely like we weren't enemies, but we were trying to like one up on each other.
Yeah.
And who's gonna get this tour and this show and blah blah blah. And like our big our big whatever we thought it was break or whatever the hell, we actually got on the same comp as Rancid. And we're like, holy fucking shit. Actually, right here you go. And I was like, holy fucking shit, this is it. And then we're in the studio recording the song that's going to be going on this comp with Rancid. And Cameron just walks in with his head down. And I'm just like, what? What the fuck happened? And he's just like, they just signed to Roadrunner. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there goes
Wait, who signed to
Glassjaw.
Glassjaw, that's
So I'm like, oh, there goes that war. So,
Yeah,
That
I mean,
more
I
or
know,
less,
I
yeah.
mean, I know I played a bunch of shows with Inside, and I know
sure.
I played shows with Sky Came Falling.
No.
I don't know, maybe at the same time, all three, probably not.
no.
Was 1999 Taking Back Sunday?
No,
What
that was the Prize Fighter, beginning of the Prize Fighter.
Okay.
So 1999 was tough for me too, because believe it or not, when Inside broke up, it was also like a part of me died. Because Inside is
So
my
none of
favorite.
us were emotionally stable in
No,
1999.
I was
Clarence so far.
definitely not emotional.
I'm holding out for you, Parker, when we get
No,
there.
I mean Inside was my favorite Long Island band ever. You know, and
Thanks, man.
I was with those guys all the time.
Why are
and it
both
was like
your
a,
hands
It was like a
visible
piece
right
of
now?
me. It was like a piece of me died. And then when I left Taking Back Sunday, and then of course rumors twisted that it was got kicked out, which is not true, but that's for another time. And then I was actually I had left that. I was doing. I think I also was doing One True Thing, playing bass with those guys because I was with them when they were Scarab and they needed someone at that point, and I also had started the Prize Fighter, so I was doing a lot, juggling a lot, and because Taking Back Sunday was my everything, and now all of a sudden I didn't have that, so I was like throwing my focus in a lot of different areas. So it was kind of an interesting time for me.
Were you
as
at the
well.
last Inside show?
Oh yeah.
That were I think all three of us were at that.
Yeah,
We
I
were
mean,
there.
I've also watched it on YouTube a million times. Like,
I was so pissed because not only that was at the last, it was the record release, and I was like, I'm never gonna fucking hear these songs ever again.
And you were wrong.
Yeah.
and
Luckily,
I'm still waiting.
luckily, I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for the artwork for my 12-inch.
Who's in charge of that, Tom?
I'm sorry. The cellophane wasn't enough for you.
All right, whatever.
Now you're gonna be difficult.
It was orange vinyl.
It was orange.
So that's cool. It's still
Let
one
the
of my
orange
favorite.
shine through.
Yeah, I still have all my original inside 7 inches, and that was
That was 99
tough.
for you.
That was 99.
Parker, what do you remember?
Man, I was fucking rocking and fucking rolling at Sunrise Mall, working at Stearns, baby.
What color fanny pack did you have back then?
That might have been like the in between fanny pack. No, the fanny pack was big in like 2000 when I was hitting the road.
Maybe
When
like
everyone else
maybe
left
like a silver because we were approaching the millennium.
Yeah,
thing of 2K.
When everyone else left it
futuristic.
behind, he's like, "This."
Dude, it was like freedom on your waist, man. It was great. Like you didn't need pockets, like none of
but I
that
always-
fucking shit.
I always found it moved its way to the front and
Yeah.
then flopped and hit your dick.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't have a dick like Malamo does. So I'm fucking Irish, so
Malamo held it up.
you know. Another highlight that I remember from '99
Mom
was
was
You
like,
probably had it in the fanny pack.
it was like,
You had a little hole cut in the back and shit.
easy access.
it was like wrapped up in
like a dinner tray.
Little glory hole fanny pack.
You'd be like, "Excuse me, honey, can you get my keys from my fanny pack?"
It's like the old popcorn tray.
'99, I went to Ozfest actually in Jersey, and it was outdoors, and that's when
Voluntarily?
yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of Todd,
Might have been there too.
So that was the first, I guess, not the first Slipknot appearance, but them in Fear Factory co-headlined the second stage. And, I mean, just fucking watching these guys fucking visually, I'm like, who the fuck are these clowns up there beating kegs and shit? Slipknot.
Was it Ozzy or
It was
Black
it was
Sabbath?
Black Sabbath, yeah.
Was it?
So that was the second stage. The main stage, that was actually the year the Primus was on Ozfest. And I actually passed out on the lawn when Primus played because I just didn't even care. And woke up actually when Slayer started. They opened with Rain and Blood. So then it was Slayer, Deftones, Black Sabbath, and it was fucking
Were you
yeah.
Fat Parker or Skinny Parker?
That was probably, 99? That was probably, I was probably hitting about a 235er.
All right, that's not
Probably
bad.
about a 235er.
I'd kill to be 230 right now.
So
All right.
yeah, so I mean that, and just fucking we started like I guess like the Weekend Warrior thing. Like we were doing shows with everybody. Like I was saying, from Saves the Day to fucking Fast Break, and just trying to get the fucking name out there. That's all that we were doing, really.
Not signing to Roadrunner.
Yes, I would have, but oh well.
Didn't come
They
your way.
looked at us.
Yeah?
we stole a bunch of. I mean, we were offered a bunch of merch. We didn't steal nothing. So, and I didn't sell all of it the next day. I parted ways with
Monty's
it.
listening. He's
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
after.
Monty Connor, what up? So we actually had an A&R from there. Her name was Michelle Van Arendonk, and she was a lesbian with a femme mullet, but she was hot. So that was my. Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, she was all right. Yeah, she was all right.
A lot of info.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I'm working through my head.
Yeah.
Like what's going on there?
Well, was she hot for 1999, or would that still hold up today?
I think it would still hold up.
Who
I
was
think-
the hottest
I
girl
think-
in 1999?
I don't know, fucking.
Well, that was prime time for Angelina Jolie.
And also, call me crazy, but Julianne Moore.
I love
I
Julianne.
love Julianne
Yeah, I
Moore.
do.
Beautiful
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
So fun.
Beautiful.
Magnolia
Was that like
and
Gia
Boogie Nights.
99? Because she was goddamn hot in that.
Gia was before that. Bone Collector was
Oh.
in 1999.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty decent movie.
That was a
Yeah.
good movie.
All right, so
Just sorry.
go ahead.
No. Just
Would
to
you
say-
bone collect her, Mike?
No. They walk right into it every time.
Fucking Evan, man. Evan Bacon, just
He never leaves you.
Yeah, no.
He never leaves you. But Thora Birch.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Was that Ghost
Yep.
World?
No.
American
no,
Beauty.
that was
Oh,
American
of course.
Beauty.
American
Yeah.
Beauty. Yeah.
No. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ghost World was after.
And she was phenomenal.
Who's the other
in
girl
those.
in that?
Yeah.
Mira.
From American
no,
Pie.
Mina
Savari.
Savari.
Mina
Yeah.
Savari.
It wasn't really my thing.
Nah,
that
I
was-
agree.
That
Wasn't
was
me
also
either.
the heroin chic time. Like Kate Moss was.
That's
a
why I
big
love
thing.
Thora Birch.
That's why I loved heroin.
That's why I lose again. I lost that face.
But did anyone like what do you remember about Y2K?
Oh, I remember I was having a house at the party that I lived in Babylon, And at the time, my sister lived up in Nyack.
You were having a party at the house you lived.
There you go. Little
Okay.
dyslexic.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
little
sorry,
bit.
sorry. No. So I
was having a
remember
house.
I was having a
At a
house
party.
in the
Is it a
thing
boy?
with the stuff. So I remember the house was freaking packed. It was wall to wall, and I remember my sister called me, and she's like, "I'm driving down from Nyack," and I was like, "You're gonna come from Nyack?" And I didn't think she wanted me to know that she was probably like, because if the shit hits the fan, I don't want to be like by myself in like semi upstate New York, you know, like, and we were all just like ready. Everybody was just like, we all like went to the bank earlier that day, emptied out all our money. I was like, yo, if ATMs go down, you know, like, so we all had our money on us. We're getting drunk.
Fanny packs.
And, like,
You remember
Nice.
why, right? There was this like the
'cause they-
glitch or something.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I knew
two-digit.
people.
Yeah.
I knew people from my mom's church that they all were selling their houses and they moved to Florida because they wanted to
church.
be in warm climate.
Church is all you have to
Oh
say.
my
Crazy.
Dude,
The rest was assumed.
insane. So we were just like ready, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I remember my sister walked in the door right before midnight. I was like, all right, thank God, cool, because if we're all gonna like. If it's all going down,
If
I'm
it's
not
all
going to be
going
able
down.
to get over
Yeah.
the bridge to save my little sister, you know.
And then the next thing that happens is like 2012 was the next one. That was like the Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
Like, all right, listen, if anything happens.
But then again, you know, like going back to the church thing, you know, growing up going to Christian school and stuff, it's like if I heard how many times like the world was going to end because I was getting that shoved down my throat because of Revelations. So I was kind of used to it. I was like, oh, another world ending thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
I
You know?
believe me, like, yeah, my mom's side is super like atheist. They don't believe in anything. But like my dad's side is like ridiculous. Like to this day, my grandmother, who calls me 4 times a week, she'll be like, Dios lo bendiga, and all this other shit. She's just like, I prayed for you to this saint, and this saint. And I'm just like, all right, whatever.
You covered.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Yeah,
in case she's
covered.
right, like,
Yeah,
you're
I
good,
got it.
bro. It's good.
Somebody's
man.
got me.
I got you.
I'm like, yo, that's 4 saints. I'm like, I must be
Sweet.
good.
Yeah.
I was spinning on New Year's Eve. That I spun from like fucking 9 at night till 6:30 in the morning. This place upstate, and it was great. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Fucking great time. The only thing
Few
I was worried about
lines.
is my light show going out because I thought my computer was going to shut down in the middle of the shift,
Yeah.
and it didn't. And that was it. And the fucking
Nice.
it was really cool.
was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so let's just talk about the favorite movies that we like, man. 1999. So let's kick it off for you.
I don't have like a particular order with these. You know,
Don't need it.
We've been talking a lot on the Facebook group with certain titles, so I was trying to look deeper into some other ones I might have missed because I only did 16 movies for the tournament, and there was obviously a lot more films. So I'm gonna go number 5. Not Citizen Kane by any chance, but damn, if I didn't have fun watching it, it was Deep Blue Sea, man. I loved that movie, man. I loved it. It was stupid,
Yeah.
but it was fun, man. It was fun. I watched it a lot that year. I enjoyed it. I like shark movies. Again, it's not winning the Oscar, but who gives a shit? But it didn't get a mention on the group page, but that shark was great when they ate Sam Jackson, man.
Fucking shark ate me.
That shit is legendary,
Yeah.
yo. It was fun, and that's what movies should be about.
Yeah, sometimes you
know?
watch a movie for fun, just like sometimes you listen to a record for fun. You know, the other day some girl was knocking Cardi
Screwdriver,
B.
like you were
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, like sometimes you listen to the first Screwdriver record. But like this girl was knocking Cardi B, and I'm thinking like, you know, not everything has a message. Sometimes you just want to hear booty clapping shit. Sometimes you just want to hear ignorant shit.
Yeah.
That's it. Same thing with a movie. Like sometimes you want to see fucking Deep Blue, whatever the fuck.
Sometimes you just want to go to fast food. And
That's
not,
it.
Yeah,
you know, not sit down at the
Nice.
fancy restaurant.
Sometimes.
And have some fun.
Go to White Castle for Valentine's Day, baby.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever. Mike, number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were doing 5 or 10.
We're doing
5.
5. I just said just in case.
Langen's got work at 3 a.m. We're only doing 5.
Yeah, the show's 5 minutes left. So
Tick tock.
Speed round.
Number 5, I had The Talented Mr. Ripley.
cool.
think I saw that.
That was
Matt Damon
Matt
and
Damon.
Jude
Oh,
Law.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally worth it, man.
Okay.
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it. It's a very creepy, socially acceptable type of horror movie, but it's psychological and it's cool. And Matt Damon and Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow are awesome in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Maybe I should check that.
I think
good
it's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
Holds up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I watch it when I see it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, number 5 from me. Any Given Sunday.
Oh, nice. That was
Okay.
one of my honorable mentions. Very
Okay.
nice.
All right.
I had to put it in there, and it's funny. The
A-section.
reason why I put it in
Isn't
there.
that Oliver Stone?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Reason
Great
I put it
cast.
in there because
Al Pacino.
when you think about
Right.
20 years later and how still relevant the concept of the movie was, you're like, wow, not much has changed. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm a big sports guy myself, and being a Giants fan, it's like that movie is like the same thing right now. Like, Eli Manning's old, you got to move on to the new guy. These flashy things and these contracts and. And
The players
movie,
change, but the story stays the
It's
same.
exactly. It's just different people, and it's
Different,
the same, and it's and it's Pacino yelling, and it's that never gets old,
He's good at
and
that.
it's just
Great
so
ass.
solid, and
She's got a great ass.
so that's my number 5.
Parker.
Fucking Boondock Saints, man. I had to fucking pick it. I know that it came up a bunch on the fucking tournament. But
Well, because Langan hates it.
do you hate it?
Hate is a strong word.
Yeah.
I just you know when sometimes something gets a little too hyped for
Yeah.
you by a lot of people, and then
Yeah.
if it's not like amazing by the time you see it, you're like, oh,
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
The second one was one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my
I
entire
didn't
life.
even know they.
I
made a
didn't
second
even-
one.
Yeah.
bother.
Fucking horrible.
Who's in? I know Defoe. I'm trying to remember the film exactly.
In the
Who else?
first one?
Yeah,
What is it? Sean Patrick Flannery,
and the
the guy from Walking Dead.
yeah, that guy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the hair guy.
Who else? I don't think really anybody else. that
Ron
fucking-
Jeremy.
Oh, that's
Hello?
true. That's
Listen,
true.
Come on.
I'll tell you this. Number 5 for me is also Boondock Saints.
There you go.
Fucking
Holla.
great. Just really, that was like one of those movies that's like post Pulp Fiction that was like told in a different way. So
Yes.
like you see like Willem Dafoe retelling the story while like it was just like this weird direction. Gina Fine was in it. That's another porn
Yeah.
star. Ron Jeremy. But
out
just
to
Willem
her.
Dafoe really.
Well, it was also because he was giving what his depiction was, but then you also got to see how it really went down.
Yeah, it's just the direction was just fucking great. I remember what the director was like a bartender,
Yeah.
got it made and
Yeah.
shit like that. Cool story behind it. Great movie. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, like yourself or Brian Cassell, wherever the fuck that cocksucker is, seem to think that it's overrated.
A lot of people
I'm sure Jerry
sample from
Smith
that
hates
movie
it.
too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, luckily I saw it right when it came out to
Yeah, me too.
VHS.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any of that
Maybe
in
I
my
had
head.
too high expectations.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So it was one of those things where
Oh,
like,
yeah. It
I
did-
remember I was
pre-buzz.
working. Yeah, I was working at Ink Alternative Tattoo in Ronkonkoma at the time, and with my buddy Al, rest in peace, Al Carter. Sorry, but we literally watched that movie every single day, and quoted it, and we'd never seen anything like it, and it was just, that whole. That whole kind of. I mean, I've always loved comic books, so that whole like, oh, we're killing for good, and reasoning behind it was kind of in there, and it was ahead of its time. It was
Absolutely.
it was fun.
It
So
took-
many good one-liners from that movie. It's ridiculous.
It took like that post Pulp Fiction world and actually did something that borrowed, but also just it brought something different to the game. So, number 4, Langan.
I got Detroit Rock City.
Yo,
Nice.
was that 99?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
That's,
I
that
went
would've-
down Wikipedia, everything that came out in 1999 to go through because you rattle your brain, you don't remember what
Yo,
year
that's my
exactly.
shit.
I'm a big fan of any night in the life like that Richard Linklater, Dazed and Confused kind of, just because it could happen with any kid
Yeah.
in any era, in any town. It's just it's a story that's completely universal. You know what I mean?
it is.
Especially as a young music fan. It doesn't even matter what year it takes place.
No, that's
Right.
a great.
You can always relate to it.
It's really wow, it's great. It's almost like a Dazed and Confused for sure.
Yeah.
You know, they're instead of going to Aerosmith or hanging out, at the
It's a simple plot, man.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just like it's either
It made
you know,
me like Kiss.
like Dazed and Confused. There's having a fucking party at someone's house that gets, but like the essential like where you're going is very simple, but it's what happens in between. They're trying to get to a Kiss concert.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
They're not rewriting. It's not fucking rocket science.
No.
It's just
And that's the beauty of like watching certain movies, because if those characters or the writing sucked, it would be so fucking bad because there's nothing to it.
Oh, it's gotta be
They're
top.
basically
Yeah.
in high school, they win tickets and they go see a show.
It's all about the writing.
That's it.
Yeah, there's no frills.
Natasha Lyonne,
Yeah.
Eddie Furlong.
Now we're all biased because we're big music nerds. But do you think it translated to people that could give two shits about
Obviously
live
not.
music?
You'd think that
You know, like,
anybody
I-
that was
It bombed.
young and had
Yeah,
wanted to
that's
have
true.
fun could relate to something. But
Yeah,
but there are
I know.
people out there that hate fun.
Lynn,
Yeah.
Lynn Shay was in it too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I hate Kiss, but I like that movie.
Me
I
too.
loathe
You
Kiss.
know?
I'll tell you this.
But it could be you could take out Kiss and you could have put in
Put
fucking
anybody.
Aerosmith
Yeah,
or whatever
totally.
the fuck
Right.
in that.
It was the
era.
same.
Yeah,
shit.
I had one of those nights in my life, and I was going to see Stryper. I mean,
yeah.
Nice.
I
You get a Bible?
no, I caught a
whack.
guitar pick though.
All right.
No Bible.
Um, your mom's church would have been proud for sure. Detroit Rock City is also my favorite Kiss song. I think it's a great song,
It is a
great
great
chorus, very anthemic. So, Malama number 4.
Election
Yeah.
Yeah,
with Matthew Broderick.
that's my number 4.
Is that yeah? Nice. Nice.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, loved it.
It's-
It made me very uncomfortable the first time I saw it.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah. The
You
whole-
didn't expect it to get
No,
that
to
dark.
get, like-
yeah.
Listen, not to get vulgar, but when,
Oh,
when that
please.
guy's like, her pussy gets
Yeah,
I
totally.
got up and left the room. I was like, I know, there's no way. Like, you can't, it just totally wigged me out.
Did you get up the? Did you get up?
I was watching it in my living room.
You were,
So I left the room, and like a year later, I
Right.
finally went back in and watched it, and I was like, all right, and I was like, oh, all right, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Now every time it's on, I'm like, it's a really good movie.
That was Reese Witherspoon's
Yeah.
finest moment. Reese.
I think so.
Yeah.
Reese and Matthew Broderick was like,
He was fantastic.
yeah, like that movie.
Who did that movie?
I don't know. Oh, isn't it like Charles Kaufman or something like that? Being John Malkovich guy.
I think you're right.
I think so.
I know it's someone
I'm
that
not
went
as
on
good
to
with
some
that as
shit.
you guys are.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm not.
Well,
that
I mean,
good.
being
Yeah, I
John
don't fucking
Malkovich was
know.
also that year, so did
Yeah.
he do
Oh,
both
maybe
of those in
not.
that one
Oh,
year?
right. It's a good
yeah.
call.
That would have
Good
been
call.
hard.
Yeah.
We'll get our
yeah.
fact checkers to
Yeah,
do
my-
it.
We'll get Hugo on it. You guys are so wrong.
Do you even know?
Yeah, no, that. So I'll go to like my number 4 was Election. Just blew me away. I couldn't believe it. Like it was just it deserved the R rating because it was so. It would make you feel uncomfortable, like the relationship they had and stuff. So, Antonio.
My number 4 is The Matrix.
Great movie.
'Cause-
Great call.
I
Never heard
mean,
of it.
at that time, you'd never seen any of that, like on film.
No.
Really. Like, so its impact to the film industry as far as CGI and stuff is like
Huge.
pretty groundbreaking. It was dark, like, I mean, who doesn't love a woman wearing a full leather bodysuit? killing
Carrie-Anne
people?
Moss was one of my crushes.
Oh man, she
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 looked
slayed
great.
it.
Memento.
And also what was what's the movie Underworld?
Hmm?
When Underworld came out, I was like, yes, she's wearing the Matrix outfit.
Yeah.
There
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
same like leather zip up.
And
you
it's
know?
just such a world that fucking movie created. And the action sequences, like even at the very end, like the bullets
Yeah,
and all that
all
other
of it.
stuff, shit that you've never seen. You're just like, wow. And then the sequels came out and ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're talking about the
Yeah,
original one.
we're talking about the original.
I remember when DVD players came out, that was like the #1 fucking for like surround sound and all that shit. It was like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Matrix and Blade.
Yeah.
I never saw The Matrix till a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, probably not that good.
Yeah.
in
Well,
your
yeah.
50s.
I was busy when it came out, and it's just one of those things that like a time goes by and you're like, I gotta see that movie, and it just doesn't happen. So yeah, I mean, I was like, wow, this must have been amazing.
That was like me with
Yeah, because-
Metallica. I'm
right,
like, I gotta see him, and fucking 41 years later.
You're like, I could be doing blow DJing or see the Matrix. Cool. Parker number 4.
Number 4, Fight Club.
Of course.
Holy shit, I don't even know where to begin with this fucking movie. so many people have said to me, it's got nothing about to do with a fight or a club. I mean, watch the fucking movie. I mean,
I thought that's exactly what
No,
it had
no.
to do with it.
I mean, it's everything from what they're talking about with when they start slipping all this shit into the, into the flights, the, whatever the fuck you call them, the info charts. And then, talking about how they're stealing the fat, for the soap. I mean, I don't
Insanity.
know. It is insanity.
Meatloaf's boobs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the whole the
Bitch
Fight
tits
Club
Bob.
thing, that was just to
Greatest
bring
name
everybody
ever.
together, to form this whatever it was. It wasn't a gang, but it was just a group of people that had the same vision, same intuitions.
Like a club.
Yeah, there you go. And they happen to be fighting.
Anarchy, baby.
Yeah. So.
And the end, Pixies, Where's My Mind?
I know.
Oh,
That's how you close it. That's how you close it.
And just the insanity, how the fucking guy was crazy the entire movie.
All right. Well, I said election for me, so we're going to do number 3.
I had 8mm.
Wow, really?
That was in my top 10.
Really?
That was in my top
Yeah,
10.
that was,
I liked it. You don't like
That was the
movie?
first time I ever heard of a snuff film.
Is that Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snuff-
Gandolfini?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Who's the I think he's Norwegian actually, the Scandinavian guy from
Hieronymus?
You're right.
from Fargo.
Oh.
He's in it
okay.
too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a
I just
great
watched that
movie.
last week again.
Yeah, I thought it was
fucking love that
super
movie.
dark and
Yeah.
Very dark.
The whole snuff thing.
Yes.
Snuff movies are kind of dark, guys.
Are they really?
They are. They have an edge to them, but
Spoiler
like
alert.
the ending,
Spoiler
the
alert.
ending, man, it's fucking sick with that big dude with the mask on. It's fucking
Machine.
creepy as fuck, man.
Machine.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh,
Loved
what's it? Joaquin Phoenix.
Was it?
Joaquin
That's
Phoenix
right.
is in it.
He was the guy that was
Absolutely.
the porn
In
star
Porn
clerk.
Star.
I was trying to remember who it was. I kept thinking Wes Bentley for some reason.
the porn movie.
The American
store.
Beauty kid.
Yeah.
Yo, who won the movie tournament?
But tomorrow will be the final. I think it'll be Sixth Sense versus.
American Beauty.
Yeah.
So the Sixth Sense beat the Fight Club?
You know what? I got to check how it came in because a couple
Yeah.
of them were close. I don't know exactly.
Oh,
I know American Beauty made it, but I got to see who won the last one. But tomorrow will be the last.
I think American Beauty was up against Sixth Sense today.
Yeah.
I have a funny Sixth Sense story real quick.
Go ahead.
I have to tell this one. So, Silent Majority was playing a show at what the hell was the bar in Belmore?
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero. Silent Majority was playing a Sunday matinee the weekend the movie came out, and I think somebody broke a string, so Tommy was like killing time, like bullshitting, and he's like, "Anyone see any movies?" And like
Oh,
someone
no,
said
he
Sixth Sense.
didn't.
No, it wasn't Tommy. Richie leaned into the microphone and was like, "Bruce Willis is a ghost."
Yeah, let me tell you about Rich right now because he just commented on something on my Facebook that made some people are just always funny, and I fucking hate him for always.
I tell him all the
Oh my
time.
God.
I hate
Any-
how funny he is.
Anytime
hilarious.
his I'm like, I can't even comment after that because it's not going to be as funny.
No.
So today I decided to write one of my statuses was Imagine Dragons is better than No Effects. Just being a dick. I mean, I technically would rather listen to Imagine Dragons over No
Probably.
Effects.
I also hate
Probably.
No Effects. So, I'm
So
not gonna-
he writes, funny, because he'll get a whole bunch of likes now, too. I hate when people like funny comments.
Yeah.
So he writes, I'll
Fuckers.
take No Effects and The Witch, which I hate, and you can have Imagine Dragons in the last 11 Weezer albums. Oh, what a fucking
Jacobina
dick.
for the win.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
such a dick.
That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So where were we?
We're,
Malamo.
Number
Malamo
3,
for
I had
three.
probably a little bit of an obscure one, but the movie was big for me. It was called Joe the King.
Wow.
Val Kilmer plays like an alcoholic dad. He's definitely not the star.
Joe the King.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke plays a teacher, and then this Noah Fleiss plays the main character, and he's like a troubled kid living in the middle of nowhere in the 70s in like Schenectady or somewhere up there, one of those lost towns, 2 hours north of us. And he's like a klepto, and he's got all sorts of emotional problems, but it like you can't turn away. Did you ever see the movie Heavy with Evan Dando?
Wow,
From the
no.
Lemonheads?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
I feel like you're making shit up.
no,
here.
I'm not.
Yeah,
It's-
come on now.
You know what? It's almost got the feel of like Gummo or
Mm.
Kids.
Okay.
Gummo was
Now we're
fun.
talking.
Maybe a step more commercialized in its,
No
cinematography.
spaghetti in
Yeah, I
the
was going to say
bathtub.
a little less spaghetti in the bathtub.
cat.
That's what gave it the an R rating.
Cats-
The spaghetti
cats in
in
the
the bathtub.
gasoline,
That's the
uh,
most offensive thing I've ever seen on the screen.
is.
But anyway,
And
It
the
is-
chocolate.
yeah, I digress.
Chocolate.
And he was having milk with the spaghetti.
The kid eating the spaghetti is the most.
It's
Yeah,
fucking-
he's something else.
Yeah, oh,
Every now and then I
He's
check
like-
his IMDb to see if he's like a real person.
No, he
Like,
is.
He is
Because
a real
he's
person.
in Gore-Tex's super coven
Yes.
group. Because I mentioned it on there, and fucking Gore-Tex is like, yo, he's one of our group members, and he tags him right under my comment.
You need to get him on the podcast.
I think so, but what
Yeah.
would we say to him? He'd be like,
We
so
could
were
say,
you
please
were
don't kill us.
How did that spaghetti
Three
taste?
of us would be like fucking against the closet, just staring at him.
Stay out of my bathroom. Do not
Do it
go in my
remotely.
bathroom.
Have him call in.
If I see one strand of spaghetti, this is over.
But yeah, no, Gummo is disgusting.
Oh,
But
love it.
I don't know about Joe
Yeah,
the
we
King.
digress.
Yeah, so it's worth watching. It's you're not going to feel good when it's over. You're probably not going to feel good at any point during the movie, but it's just well done.
That's
I
good.
enjoyed it.
I
enjoyed
like
it.
stuff like that.
You
Sometimes
like it.
Anything
it's
that makes you feel something.
something.
Right,
works,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
listen. Good for you for saying that because you're right, and that's why I watch it because I'm like, this movie has heart.
Yeah.
and for
Yeah.
whatever
It's
it is.
better to feel horrible than feel nothing
Yeah.
when you're watching a movie.
You-
I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
This
Yeah,
is coming out of my mouth. I'm like, is that right? Is
Yeah,
that what
I
I'm
think you're right.
Evan Dando.
Yeah.
So I just recently watched him on the Goldbergs.
Oh, get out of here!
And I fucking have been nonstop talking about the Goldbergs on Facebook
Yeah, I
because
saw
every
that.
episode gets better and better.
I have to watch that at some point.
It's so.
I just watched the Major League one,
I didn't see that.
and then I
one
had
yet.
to watch Major League right after it.
Listen, it's you have to watch it.
No.
It's just
Yeah, I gotta
it's
have to
22 minutes, and they just pick a movie. Like the one that I just saw was like them picking Highlander, and then they just revolve this episode around Highlander, and the mom is the best.
No.
She is so funny, and it's all based on this kid's like videotapes. Growing up, he would tape everything.
Oh, right.
So like at the end of the episode, like he'll like introduce like the real people and all this stuff. It's just fucking great. Evan Dando was on there, and supposedly I guess like his cousin's friend, was Evan Dando, and he started a band. So like they had this story with him in it.
Get
and,
outta
yeah,
here.
it's fucking great. It's on right now it's on free on
Netflix?
demand.
I think
Well,
it's
the
on
new-
Netflix, man.
No, it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
All the seasons
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
are
have
on
to look that up.
Hulu. But I'm talking about like if you, like I have cable, so like I could look up free on demand.
Right.
But number 3, Antonio.
All right. I'm having a hard time with there's two different movies that I'm like battling with. So I'm gonna go with this one because it's nobody has mentioned any animated movies, but The Iron Giant.
Okay, yeah. Hey,
You
good
know,
for you.
I mean, in '99 too, it's like I didn't have kids yet, so I wasn't being forced to watch animated stuff. I was older, where I wasn't watching animated things really. And animated when we were kids was, the crappy Disney movies.
Those movies were
but-
not crappy.
I know I'm gonna get killed for that, but anyway.
No one's
But
listening.
yeah, Iron Giant, man, that movie, such a good story. The animation is really cool because it was brighter, but it was drawn very like 60s.
Yeah.
But it was like cleaned up.
I love it.
Anytime it's on, I'm like, I have to stop and watch
I like
it.
that animation.
Yeah, it was just.
And
it was
now you
so
get
fucking
to
good.
you figure so 20 years ago, now you have to your kids probably don't like the animated shit anymore.
No,
Right
Elvis does. He's 8.
Animation I find tough. I know with my son, like, because they're used
Yeah.
to when you get used to a certain style, sometimes
Right.
the hand drawn stuff.
They might be
it
the
just
same
doesn't
age. How old is Elvis?
Elvis is
snap
8.
with them. I
8.
don't know. You know what I mean?
Elvis is 8.
You know.
Madison's almost 12. They still do watch animation, but it's more TV animation.
It's very
like,
computerized looking as opposed
yeah,
to
like they love Bob's Burgers. And
Okay,
my
that's
daughter's
a little
into-
bit more
My daughter's into
hilarious.
anime.
So
Yeah.
my kid
But-
loves that too.
Yeah,
I love that he loves that. Good for
yeah. Oh,
Disney.
forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Elvis is still feeling the animation. And actually, he wants to be an animator or a puppeteer when he grows up. Like
Yeah.
he idolizes like Jim Henson.
Nice.
Like you wouldn't believe. He's into like stop motion stuff, so he's super creative. So he appreciates all of it. But you know, and it's funny because I want to watch that one with him, but he's also like super emotional, and I know he's gonna be like. You know, like I know he's gonna like feel it, but I think now that I was going through the list and I had to add it on there, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch that with him this week.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you guys watch the Mr. Rogers thing? You did, right?
Oh my God!
How did
Shout
you
out
do
to
that?
you for being dead inside. 'Cause I was choking back the tears, man.
I was like,
I'm impressed. I thought I was, but apparently I had a little something left inside.
Start growing your hair out. Get that face paint ready.
I've never cried during a movie, but I've had a tear, but
Yeah.
I've never cried.
I was choked up, man.
Yeah.
It's at multiple points. Like,
Now, what is it about the movie that you guys found? Did you watch it?
I didn't yet, but my
No,
friend Kelly
no.
just watched it on an airplane coming back from Cuba, and she was like, "Yeah," and I was crying, and the guy next to me thought I was weird, and I was like, "All right, I have to watch this. I
Yeah.
know I need to."
Yeah.
What did you like about it, Mike?
I really do believe that he was a genuine, sincere, good human being to the core.
Is it because he was wiping black people's feet with towels?
That's one of the reasons, you know. But you find yourself reading deep into that when you're watching the movie. I did anyway, you know. And I was like, this guy was making a statement, but he was making it to children. So while it may seem funny to us,
Yeah.
he was giving a message to children in probably an appropriate way. You know,
and
maybe
inappropriate
that's perfectly
way.
said.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a father myself, too.
And I grew up watching
There's
it.
not a lot of voices like that
No,
for children now. Not even close.
and not only that, but
that
honestly,
talk directly to
Yeah.
them
Yeah,
about
well,
like
there's
he
n-
was addressing like real shit
Individuals.
that they
Right.
needed
Yeah.
to talk to.
yeah.
there's not not anything positive that they're getting, and that's when they're the most impressionable. So like getting
He understood that.
getting positive talk at a young age is super important, you know. And he was.
I think it was a combination of that and the obvious nostalgic part because I watched it
sure.
growing up.
Growing
so,
up.
So
Of course.
that and what a good person this was and how like lacking sometimes you see that kind of character.
How did
I
he?
feel.
How did he die? And his wife looks like the same age. Like I don't know. Like all
She
like,
drinks baby's blood or
Yeah.
something.
Because like I mean,
She's
did
a
he
Satanist.
just die recently, like or something? Because like it just seemed
She
like
got some work done with that Mr. Rogers money. Yo.
yo, maybe he left her some cake.
That
you know?
PBS money,
Yeah.
yo. But yeah, that it again.
When I die, I want
made
you to
me-
pull that shit
it
back
hit
on
me,
you.
You know what I mean? It blindsided me a little bit, and that impresses me when you can still when that.
She sold the trains on eBay.
And here's the thing for me. So like I watched it and I was like, oh, that's cool. I remember it. I didn't really think anything of it, and I'm like watching him. I'm like, oh, this guy just seems like this like old school like fucking conservative fucking like I don't know, just like I don't know. He just seemed like an old like your grandfather and you like almost like a dinosaur.
But you know what was cool about it? I mean, he was a pastor,
Mm.
but he didn't. He separated that from what he did. He wasn't preachy.
No.
He didn't
No.
bring that shit.
No,
into
I had
the
no
show.
idea till they mentioned it.
So like he had that in his life, but I respect that he didn't feel the need to push
Right.
his beliefs on anything.
Yeah.
He was just dealing with what was going on in
Social.
society, socially, yeah. And
Not coming from the religious angle, which was
Yeah.
super impressive because he very could have easily, you know,
right, been dropping.
It
that.
wasn't
maybe
heavy-handed.
because I genuinely, when I see someone who's so nice, I do think like, well, there's got
What's
to be
he hiding?
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way. I felt that way about my friend Dave's wife, Mariko, when I first met her. I was like, you know, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, Dave's a fucking piece of shit and all, but like, you're way too nice. Like, you're like, how are
Something's up.
you not killing him because he's so annoying? You married him. And then later in life, I found out she's one of those people that's genuinely that fucking nice.
Right.
Like that. She is
Yeah.
unbelievably nice.
It's like General George.
yeah.
It's like you would assume he was a serial killer by how nice he is, but he's genuinely
yeah, he's
the
just
most
that way all the time.
Shout out
truest,
to George.
amazing person ever.
all the
Yeah.
time.
He's in a new band with Keith.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I should. Who cares, right?
you got it here first. Breaking news.
Let me get my Kurt Loder on right now.
Blitzer.
So, number 3, Parker.
So number 3, I saw at band practice. They rented it from Blockbuster, and they put this fucking movie in. And the movie starts off and
Ford
it's just-
Fairlane.
No, yeah, I wish. And it's just stop and go traffic, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't funny or whatever. And then finally, they go over to this fucking white guy with glasses, and he just fucking starts rapping. Fucking, I got my pistol point cocked, ready to block shots as I see your monkey ass drop. And the movie is called Office Space.
Of course.
And it just fucking took me on this ride, and I just didn't stop laughing the entire fucking movie.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mike
It's
Judge again. Shout
Yeah.
out to Mike Judge
Yes.
again.
The story of that film, I'll never get sick because I mean,
No.
it went nowhere
Yeah.
when it came out, and now it's become this completely iconic
Swingers.
fucking
Yeah,
legend.
yep.
I think this year
Sam
actually,
Livingston got it
I'm
again.
waiting for my copy from the library, but I think
Nice.
this an anniversary edition came out. of that
Awesome.
with some like a lot of extra features or
Really?
something.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a fucking hilarious movie, man.
classic.
Great cast too.
Absolutely. Great
So good.
characters.
Jennifer Aniston's in it, and,
Yep.
it does, and it's good.
Would you believe
which is odd.
Would you believe I've never seen it?
Shut up.
Really?
I've never seen
Shut
it.
your mouth.
And I love Mike Judge.
It's in the O section. Grab it on the way out.
That and Spinal Tap, man.
I need a
What the
DVD
fuck?
player. But Karen loves it, so she, I think she even owns it too. But I don't have a DVD player, so it doesn't matter. I'm a cloud dude. But one day I'll watch it, and I know I love that they use the Ghetto Boys.
Yeah.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Sure.
So,
I actually own the soundtrack for
It's
that
a great
movie.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Awesome soundtrack.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
all right. So my number 3 is a movie that I can't even describe. I just remember loving it a lot because I thought it was fantastic. Go.
Oh, son of a
yeah,
bitch.
yeah.
That was my number one.
Is it?
Yeah.
How great is Go?
Great fucking
Oh,
movie.
great
Well,
movie.
speaking of swingers, it's the same director.
Yeah, and I just remember this with the British guy fucked 2 girls during a fire.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, whoa, he's actually fucking these 2.
Yeah.
Like, it looked real. I'm like, this is like
Shout out to Nikki Fritz. That was the brunette.
R-rated.
Mm.
And it was just drugs and crazy shit and everything that I was all about.
Early
This
Timothy
makes sense to me.
Allen-Plant is the
Really?
Yeah,
He was
as
the
a
drug dealer. Yeah.
And what's his name?
I think there were some good songs on that soundtrack
Yeah.
too. I want to say.
Tay Diggs.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best.
What's his name? Jay. What's his name?
Oh, Jay Moore.
Jay Moore.
Jay
Yep.
Moore.
Oh,
Man,
wow, I forgot
What
he
happened
was
to
what a
that guy?
career.
Great cast.
What a career that guy didn't have.
Did a great walking impersonation.
That's it.
Yeah.
The best.
That's where he peaked.
I thought he was funny. I always found him funny. I like him.
Suicide Kings was another
Oh,
great
yeah. There you go.
cast
Yep.
ensemble movie. Actually, you it was your question.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary was on there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Jay Moore had a career, and I feel like he just disappeared.
What a career that guy didn't have.
Yeah, they gave him a sitcom. I think for one brief.
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
That was his.
Yeah.
That was it.
That
He's
was
done
the-
some stand-up. He's done some good
No,
stand-up.
he's a stand-up guy,
yeah,
but I mean
yeah.
that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Number 2.
My number 2, I'm going to go with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Okay.
Is
Nice.
that 99?
You asked
Guy
me that
Ritchie.
about every. I'm gonna like get home like, oh shit, that was 2 years earlier.
Yeah, 98.
The fuck did I know in
don't
1999? This is how fucked up I was.
No, you
But,
talk about it because I'm gonna look it up.
If I didn't, it's still funny. Yeah. All right. But is it original? Absolutely not. Is it British Tarantino? Is Tarantino original? Is anything original? But whatever. It's
98.
fucking fun, man. Are you serious?
Yeah,
It's on Wikipedia.
it doesn't matter.
Well,
98.
I'm gonna switch it up. American Pimp by the Singleton Brothers.
Wow.
So, if that movie came out the year before, I
Yeah,
love it. It's
yeah.
on the Wikipedia
Listen.
page. I blame it.
Maybe it's like December 31st.
That's clearly what happened.
It was leap year.
Or
Well,
that,
shit.
or it came out on VHS and DVD.
Maybe that's what it
the
was.
next year, yeah.
Yo, Guy Ritchie.
Thanks a
doing his
lot.
thing.
No, but yeah,
I've never made it through that movie because
no?
because the accents, I can't understand what the fuck they're saying half the
put
time.
on subtitles
I
for
love it.
everything.
Yeah.
That's what I do, man.
I hate reading.
Yeah,
Partially,
it's not like me.
It's couple reasons. My son just yells at me randomly about anything at any point, no matter what I'm doing,
So you put
and
subtitles on?
and that being in a band and spinning, I'm got the hearing problems. I'm sure
Oh,
all you
yeah,
guys
I love
Got a
that.
lot of hair covering that ear too.
The hair is over my ears. It can be horrible, but yeah, I find that I just put subtitles on automatically now, and it helps
Yeah,
with that movie.
I know. I probably should.
But yeah, it was fun. But it didn't come out in the year we're talking about.
Right.
So moving on, Mike.
Conversation mood.
Mike Malamo, number 2.
American Beauty.
Yeah.
That's my number 1.
Yeah, that's my number one.
Yeah.
Wow, it's not even on my top 5.
A lot of people. Are you like? Do you hate that movie? Because I was astonished at how many people really hate that movie.
I don't
thought
hate it,
yeah.
but I don't.
Was it
I
like-
don't put it up there
Yeah.
like people do. I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
I thought the writing. I'm a.
You're
Alan
number one?
Ball, Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah, okay.
So
It's already mentioned. So, Fight Club.
okay,
You know, I mean,
sure.
iconic. So yeah.
Okay.
Park.
Another fun one, The Faculty.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's your number 2.
That's my number 2.
Was that
yeah.
99?
That was 99. At least I think it was.
Really?
Wikipedia said it was
The show's
99.
falling apart.
Well, don't trust Wiki. You got to go to IMDb.
I know.
Fuck that.
Fuck. Let's look.
98.
Is it? Motherfucker.
Yo,
All right.
Wikipedia needs to be pulled off.
I just go to
Look at
Google.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
See, I did that, but like the same shit kept coming up, and I was trying to look.
We're going to go
deeper
with
than that.
being John Malkovich then.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Yeah, that was 99.
Yeah, that was 99.
Yeah.
Where are you checking yours? Maybe your shit's wrong, bro.
No,
Google.
I go to Google.
Fuck Google.
Yeah.
That's it.
I go to the liberal leaning left machine Google.
There you go.
Deep state.
So, would you say being John?
Being John Malkovich, yeah. I mean,
Cusack.
Cusack and Malkovich in the fucking same movie. I mean, what's her name looks like fucking hell.
Oh, my
You know, but you can't
Cusack's
have
a god.
you can't have everything.
Cusack, like so we talked about it. Like him, Cusack, Kurt Russell, and Bill Paxton have the 3
Oh,
best
that's great.
filmographies. Like
I'm thinking about driving down to DC to do the
fuck
high
John
fidelity.
Cusack?
No, they're doing
To who?
no, they're showing high fidelity. Then he does a Q&A.
Oh,
and,
that's
and
sick.
an autograph
Really?
signing. Yeah, and the closest it's coming to New York is DC.
I
I'm
saw
like,
that.
I think I'm going to go to DC.
I think
for
I saw that
I'd
at
go if they were
Stony
doing
Brook
TNA.
for free or Hofstra for free or something. And it's funny. So the whole band went, and then 2 rows ahead of us, All Sons of Abraham stands up.
Oh, that's
So I was like,
funny.
wow, that's all right, cool.
is that because you guys were still in competition? Even
Might have been. You know,
anything with Justin Beck.
that's it, man. That's it.
He's even printing T-shirts.
Say, that's it. Like that motherfucker.
But yeah, high fidelity is
Fuck
pretty
Parker.
much my life. So
like high fidelity. Just
Oh,
the
please.
ultimate between that. I said the 3 top breakup movies: High Fidelity, 500 Days of Summer, and Eternal Sunshine. That is the trifecta of just like those are breakup movies.
Amazing.
But High Fidelity, just for like every music geek, every person that just walked into a record store, because we all wanted
well,
to.
not just music geek, but the one who overanalyzes your relationship after it's done. Like when he's like when he-
doing a top 5.
like, well, not only that, but when someone mentions Ian and then he's in his bed.
Ian.
What fucking Ian got? No one is having better sex than the sex she's having with
Yeah,
Ian
with
in
Ian.
my
My
head.
head.
And I can't tell you how many fucking times I've been laying in my bed.
Every
thinking-
guy
Patchouli
does it.
stink.
You know what I mean? Like, no. You know?
Is it better to know that your ex-girlfriend is fucking one guy or that she's fucked 10 guys?
None. Neither one of those things.
No, I
That's
mean
hell.
like one or
I'd
because
rather it's the
one
10
guy.
guys,
it's
honestly.
yeah because then
it's the one guy. It's like, well, why is his
Yeah.
dick good enough to stay with, but mine wasn't?
that's what I'm saying. If she's banging 10 after you,
She's
She's
just a slut.
searching.
yeah,
She's doing a thing.
She's trying to
searching.
find someone
It's like
special.
a
with you.
Google search for 99, and you don't know if it's right or not.
I did. 8mm came out in '99. Just by the way, while I was talking.
She's Google searching
Wait,
penises.
did you fact check 8mm?
On Google.
Okay.
I did.
99, the year of the snuff.
99.
That's what it's known
That
as.
was
the year of the
accurate.
snuff. No, so for me, my number 2 is The Green Mile.
Yes.
What a movie! It's not as good as Shawshank,
no.
which is they're both King books.
Yeah.
But very, very awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe slightly a little underappreciated. I feel like maybe people gave a King adaptation 1 jail 3-hour movie, and they're like, we can't do another one. And but I just remember watching it, and it was there's something about jail that just is very like it makes the stories more compelling, fascinating, because you're thinking. It's such an extreme case to be in, and there's so many stories that you could tell while you're in jail. and it's I don't know. It's just like there's like a sadness to it, and if someone gets out, you know.
And Sam, what's his name? Plays Billy the Kid. Sam.
Oh, Billy the Kid. Okay, yeah.
Rockwell?
Yeah, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, even though I just totally lost his name. But his character is great in that movie. Is some good acting in that
I can't
movie.
believe Michael Duncan Clark is dead.
Yeah,
I know,
Right?
dude. That's
He was a man. Like
He was so
he was a
good in that
mountain.
movie.
He was a mountain of a man.
he was like a mountain of flesh.
Yeah.
Just like humongous.
But there was also that. There's also the sci-fi.
The sci-fi part,
ness
absolutely.
to it, which is lacking in the other prison movies.
Sure.
That makes it stand out.
Oh,
I think.
absolutely, definitely. Like it's like that supernatural thing that's going on that you
Yeah.
have no idea what's going on. The race thing, home run.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Great
Green
movie.
Mile.
I mean, it's and Tom Hanks. I mean, just,
yeah.
you know.
Number 1. So American Beauty.
Well, American Beauty was my number 1.
Yeah,
but
that
I got to add something though.
Sure.
I just want to give a quick shout out
Lords of
while
Chaos?
I was that was 99, right?
Oh,
Just while I was fact checking all my shit, 'cause I can't believe I fucked that up. But Outside Providence came up.
Oh, fuck,
And
that
I wanted
movie's
to
great.
give it a mention because
Dildo.
it's very slept. Alec Baldwin's so goddamn
Yeah.
funny. When the kids got the bong. What's
Dude.
that? Play me a few notes, Satchmo, because he was like, it's a horn.
So
but he's
fucking
blowing
good.
into the bong. Anyway, but it's set in the fall. The soundtrack's great. It's a sweet story.
Amy Smat.
It's got great
You know?
comedy, but it's kind of a heavy story, too,
Yeah.
with the kid's mother that passed
Yep.
away. And it wasn't really. That's a Farrelly Brothers movie, right? Tim?
I think it was.
But it didn't get a lot of play. It's not, but I thought it was a perfectly made, like, again, too.
It did
kind
get a lot of play. I think
yeah.
it went straight to. It was around the time of Blockbuster, and it was one of those movies that went direct to video.
Right.
It might have been Farrelly Brothers,
Yeah.
and it's funny because
All their movies are Rhode Island.
Bob, right? He wrote Green Book. The guy just won an Oscar.
Oh shit.
How bananas is that?
I might be wrong. Let's see about Farrelly Brothers.
What is it? What does the brother think?
Oh, it's 98.
Oh, never mind. No, as far as who made it, I wanted to say it was theirs, but yeah, it's a nice, sweet, simple story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Very
Group of
funny enough.
friends
Yeah,
and-
and Alec Baldwin.
So I
was
wanted
good
to
enough.
shout that out. 'Cause,
But
I
the
mean,
opening
what
of
else
that
can I
movie,
say about
the
American
opening
Beauty?
line of that movie, the narration, he's like, when I was 8 years old, my brother and I were having a football catch. My brother ended up in a wheelchair. He fell off the roof. I think it's where the movie opens.
good. Sure.
It's hilarious. I probably butchered that line. But
Yeah, it's a good movie.
You
It's
did.
Very good
worth a
movie.
revisit. Holds up too.
You did great. Mike, your number 1 movie of 1999, 20 years ago, when your penis was bigger,
Nice.
your muscles were bigger.
Your
You know,
band was bigger.
Your band
all right, I'm out of here.
Thank you.
I actually tried to wear one of my inside shirts here tonight, and it just was
Fucking
not
belly
fitting.
shirt.
That was
Yeah,
very
I was
good.
like, "Ugh, look at that.
That was very good.
Too much beer.
That was very good.
number 1.
The Insider.
Oh,
Who was that?
And it's got the
Russell-
word
I saw that in the
it.
theaters. That was
Mann.
good.
Michael
Yeah,
Mann.
that
movie.
was
think I
good.
saw
Russell
that
Crowe. Al. I'm so bad with names right now. Al Pacino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard.
Was that against the
Christopher
cigarette
Plummer.
companies?
Yeah, it was,
Yes.
it was
Yeah, I never saw
about the big tobacco.
Okay.
You know, the whistleblower. It's an I mean, it's very Michael Mann. You know, there's a lot of cinematography is great. There's a lot of intricate, intelligent conversation. Not a whole lot of action, if any. But I mean, it's an amazing portrayal of what this guy went through when he tried to take down big tobacco, breaking his confidentiality agreement, and they came after him hard
You
to try to
think?
silence
Yeah.
him. It's Pacino plays Lowell Bergman, the producer of 60 Minutes. Christopher Plummer plays Mike Wallace, and they're trying to get this guy. But now all of a sudden, there's problems that they're suing him from this angle, and CBS could lose 60 Minutes if this happens. Like the legalities, the social commentary. It's really a jaw-dropping movie for me.
Sure.
If you've never seen it, it's worth a watch.
And
Yeah,
you've
I
never
gotta check it
smoked,
out.
right?
Smoke cigarettes?
Yeah.
I smoked a little bit when I was like late teens, early
Yeah.
20s, but that was, yeah.
You ever remember that Chris Rock bit where he was talking about how illegal a pack of cigarettes would be if a black guy invented it?
Oh, with the bullets.
Yeah.
With
Was
the
it?
bullets?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
He was just like, He's like, if whatever fucking cigarette company, he's like, if fucking Marlboro was like Philip Morris was like, a family of black dudes in the South. He's like, you understand how illegal a pack of cigarettes would be? That's so good. So Antonio,
All right,
number one movie of 1999.
I'm gonna let you guys
Or
down.
98,
I'm
fuck
gonna
it.
let you guys down because mine is a dead fast tie. I'm gonna give you the reasoning. So, my number one is The Green Mile because I think it was the best movie that came out that year, and I adore that movie. But it's also sandwiched with The Boondock Saints, and for me, it's because I couldn't not say that was the number one because it's probably the movie I've watched most that came out in 1999. Like I said, we watched it every day. I've watched it a bunch of times since. I know every single word to the movie. So it was very tough for me to like really pull between those two. So it's like you've got like the what you really thought was the best film versus the film that you just continue to watch most.
It is always you can make that argument.
That's what's hard about that is it's like, and like I said, my friend that I watched it with, passed away many years ago. So it's like I also have this strange emotional tie to the Boondock Saints.
True.
But yeah, I mean, The Green Mile was just one of those movies, like like we said. Yeah, it was about race. It was about, can a bad person turn good? Can we have this like belief in somebody that we shouldn't be believing in? And who's the hero? Like bad cops, good cop. You know what I mean? Again, still translates today.
Yeah.
So it's just super impactful. Like
very much, and just almost like when you think of like what a movie could be, like The Green Mile is it. It's just fucking put together so well. Yeah. It's what like just the imagination, the story, the execution. When you think of what cinema is, I think that movie has everything.
And where most of it was shot too. I mean, like very
1998.
No, I mean, like you're not getting like in a lot of movies you're getting all these different backgrounds. They're in different places. They're here. No, this was very confined. Very, and you didn't feel like you were, it wasn't noticeable. But now you look back and you're like, oh wow, occasional scenes outside, but it's pretty much in the prison or a quick little flashback.
Makes you want to feel like you're in prison. Give you that. Yeah.
I mean, I've
claustrophobic feeling.
I never spent a lot of time in prison. Just some overnights and holding cell and central booking.
Nice.
I feel you.
That's
you got the paper. What is it? Toilet paper pillow.
Oh, dude, that's the worst.
That's when you do the
Sleeping
overnight.
on a wooden bench. You got the little toilet paper roll. I know.
Parker. Number one
was Go, but I'm going to throw Blair Witch in there as an honorable mention.
Okay.
I mean, just from the found footage, I mean, nobody had seen that, pretty much up to that point.
So leading up to that movie, because I never saw it because I just didn't give a shit. Like
I went into it thinking that it was real.
Yeah.
Obviously it came out later that it wasn't.
Did anyone do that? Or is he the only lunatic that thought it was real?
I don't know if I thought it was. I saw it at the Angelica, I remember.
Sure.
Like maybe the opening weekend of the second one, so the cat wasn't totally out of the bag. I didn't know what I was expecting, but it was a fun experience. It was like an event when it first came out. It was something.
Yeah.
Now it's like something. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Oh, you never seen Blair Witch? You got to see it.
It awkwardly scared the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But like,
the last
you didn't
10
know-
minutes is fantastic.
I mean, the ending
Yeah.
still, like that last fucking scene when he's standing there, I was
Is
just
Bruce
like,
Willis a ghost?
yeah,
And also, like good for those dudes. They made that
Fucking
movie
banged.
with nothing. You
yeah,
know,
the amount of money
Because
that they
it
fucking
was
made.
like aside, like that was like the first one, right?
Found footage wise, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely is the one that launched what we know found footage. I mean,
Yeah,
sure, you
yeah,
might be
yeah.
able to like find examples of it
I
previously.
like Cannibal
but
Holocaust. It was like,
But even the
Yeah.
camera work, the whole like holding the camera up to you, running around, fuck it. I mean, as kids who wasn't
right under that
scared
girl's
shitless
nose,
of
the
the dark
boogers
wood.
hanging out.
yeah.
You saw everything.
Yeah, that movie.
It's been 20 years and I still haven't seen it, so I'm holding out.
You're not gonna like it now.
No.
It's gonna be like
No.
a pile of rocks
Right,
that they come
right.
You're like,
across.
that's
every
not
now
horror.
I
you know who I am?
I do have an interesting story about that though, because a couple weeks before that, I think it was either the History Channel or Discovery Channel. Somebody put out a documentary about the Blair Witch itself, and they made it a historical documentary that she sacrificed children on these rocks, and they lived in wherever it was, Virginia. They invented a whole story about who the Blair Witch was, where it came from, and that was dead on. I remember being scared shitless of that. And then everyone started doing their research, and they were like, there's nothing about the Blair Witch. Like, this is all bullshit.
No.
Yeah.
So that was what led to the cat coming out of the bag ahead of time. But the documentary about the actual Blair Witch was way better than the fucking movie.
Really?
So when I walked out of the
I
movie
believe
theater,
that.
I was like, fuck that movie. You know, and I don't ever want to see it again. I'm not knocking it because I totally agree. It set off a genre to a degree, and it wasn't awful. But because of what happened with the documentary, by the time I got out of the movie theater, I was completely disinterested.
It also set off a lot of late night trips down Sweet
Oh,
Hollow Road.
well,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was doing that long before I saw that movie.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know.
And
So my
Mount
number
Misery.
one will be American Beauty,
Yes.
which we don't need to get into because it's a masterpiece. I from the moment that I saw it was the time that I started to compile a list in my head, thinking that was my favorite movie of the year. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Let me just keep track of the movies that I really like. And it was just something, I don't know, it just, I think I was really into cinema at that point. And that was the first movie that kind of like knocked me on my ass where nothing happened. It was like a Schwarzenegger movie. It wasn't anything. It was just a cerebral movie.
It was very.
And
Yeah,
you-
it's
good way to put it.
investigating people, a normal
Yeah.
suburban family that's not really normal
No.
on the surface, which
No.
is really how everyone's is.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it is normal.
And it's perfectly written. Alan Ball was great. When
Yeah.
that 6 Feet Under is an unrelated topic. It was one of my favorite
Oh,
shows.
my
She's a
God.
great writer. He fell off on True
Unbelievable.
Blood, but anyway, I think Thomas Newman did the soundtrack. It's perfect. I love that movie.
Annette Bening is
Yeah.
fucking
great.
fantastic.
Kevin Spacey quitting his job and going work at a fast food spot. You know.
Chris
Oh,
Cooper.
I have a job. Chris Cooper's
that was his
amazing.
first breakthrough role. I think that put him on the map. Chris Cooper.
I think he turned Kevin Spacey gay in that movie after that
The
kiss.
garage shit, man.
Ooh, that's where it all.
Mind blown.
That's
That
where-
was
you might
wild.
be on to
That
some
was
shit.
wild.
Yeah, but the other movie that I want to mention that, like Antonio said, there's just movies that I need to mention. Magnolia.
Yeah,
I think
sure,
Magnolia
sure,
was
yeah.
a masterpiece. I don't think it was better than Paul Thomas Anderson's Heart 8 or Boogie Nights, but when it comes to like what a movie can be and how smart and what you could throw in a cast, I think Magnolia was insane.
There's
Respect the dick or whatever fucking
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was saying and shit.
So aside from Office Space, I mean, we got to just quickly mention the comedies that came out in that year, even though they weren't on our list, because comedies get bumped. But I mean, fucking Big Daddy,
I
with-
love
yeah,
Winona
so good.
was in that.
American
Oh,
no.
Pie.
Yes. Yep.
She was
Like-
in Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, it was it was a great year for comedy. Like those like American Pie set off another
Yep.
comedy genre.
It did.
I think
I think it peaked with the first.
Yeah, it
Well, what
did.
doesn't,
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
And Sandler has his classics, but Big Daddy was, I think, his first movie that had like some solidity, like emotional. It's like your mom could watch it and be like, "Oh, that
Yeah.
poor kid," but it was still fucking hilarious before he got really bad.
Yeah, yeah, he got bad, but I mean, like he man, Wedding Singer, Big Daddy.
Yeah,
There was a lot of shit there. Even like his buddy doing Grandma's Boy. Not
Great
a lot of-
movie.
Grandma's Boy is
Not a lot of
fantastic.
people mention Grandma's Boy.
Great movie.
And
Is
that
that
was
99?
I think that was 98.
No, okay, I was gonna say because
Langan.
I love that movie.
2000.
I think that was
Different decade.
So that was along the time, another blockbuster movie that I remember just going straight to video. So that's when things were like going kind of straight to video, and it wasn't the kiss of death.
No, because
Idiocracy
because
was one of
Blockbuster
those.
was
Oh,
at
man.
height at that
Idiocracy.
point. Yeah, so
a
Blockbuster
documentary
was the
now.
shit. I mean,
Yeah.
you wanted to hang out with a
Joe
girl.
was ahead of his time,
You know,
man.
they say Netflix
Serious.
and chill, but it was like, let's
Yeah.
go cruise the new release wall at
Yeah.
Blockbuster, and it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
what's up? Check out this new release ball.
Yeah, totally.
Cruising.
Yeah. Well, it was
Pick any movie that you want to watch the first 10 minutes of.
yeah. Then it won't take long to rewind it before we return it.
All right, start it over.
Watch it tomorrow.
All right, so let's talk top 5 albums. 1999, Langen, number 5.
I'm gonna start with. I got a whole bunch right there. Peanut Butter Wolves. My vinyl weighs a ton.
Yeah. Stone's Throw.
Yeah, great documentary on them too.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it's probably long gone.
My vinyl weighs a
But
ton.
yeah, Stone's Throw Records from San Francisco, right? They're based out of. But there's so many good shit on there. Great tracks, loop packs on there. Planet Asia. There's one track alone's got Cut Chemist, A-Track, Z-Trip, Rob Swift, all these killer fucking
Everyone.
DJs just ripping shit
Yep.
up. And I just always respected Stone's Throw Records. Just even to
They were like a hip hop sub pop.
yes,
You know, you
exactly.
saw Stone's Throw. You
It was
would
like
think,
alternative hip hop.
yeah, you would think Matador, Sub Pop, or Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, that's Stone's Throw.
Yep,
You would give it a shot.
definitely.
Number 5.
The self-titled debut record from Pinback.
Oh,
I love Pinback.
okay.
Yeah.
That's the song. You know, I never listened to that one. I listened to the later records.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
Love
it
that record.
same kind of just like indie rock, spacey type shit?
Yeah, it was maybe a little less spacey, a little bit more grassroots sounding, you know, a little bit more dust on it than, you know, polish. But it's great. It's a
Yeah,
great record.
I got to get into Goblin Cock too. Do you know?
His other
Nice.
band. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Do you know Goblin Cock?
No, but I love the name.
in-
Some of the
I know,
funniest
I know.
artwork. Some of the
Never
funniest
heard 'em?
artwork
I'm
you've
interested.
ever seen.
I just checked. Parker doesn't have a boner.
Nah, I don't.
So
I do.
in our practice space, I know the old one. We're not even there. That's now
Yep,
our
right,
old one.
right by the light
right,
switch.
Right by the light switch.
Yeah.
I remember I would be playing, and you know, when you know Joe Ciato has so much shit up on the wall that no matter how many times you go there, you notice something different. And one day I was just playing guitar, and I look over to my left, and I see something that says Goblin Cock.
It's awesome.
And I was like, wow. For some reason, it just clicked, and then I found out that it's the dude from Pinback's side
Yep.
band.
Yep.
Great name, Goblin Cock.
Did Goblin Cop and Anal Cunt ever
No,
tour together?
Goblin Cock.
Cock. Oh, cock. Okay.
Goblin
now
Cock.
we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Goblin
Parker.
Cop would be a movie I would
Yeah.
like to see. Now you're talking.
There
If
might
you
be
Google
one.
it, you'll
I
see
know,
some.
yeah.
I might watch a movie called Goblin Cock also.
Yes.
Gobbling.
So,
Yes, yes.
you know.
That's the John Wayne Bobbitt story. Parker likes anything with cops.
That's it, man. All goblins.
Antonio.
All right,
number
I'm gonna lose underground scene points with this one, but I don't give a shit, and that's Blink-182's "Enema of the State." I
Okay.
mean, so many like just if you weren't like driving late at night in the summer, like going to the diner with your friends, and that some of those songs were blasting, and you didn't feel like
What is the Suicide song?
that's the I don't that's is that on that? No, I think that's on the record after that.
Oh, the Take Your Pants Off?
Yeah, I think it's on the record after that. This is, What's My Age Again and all those just like fun.
Yeah, I gotta
like
I gotta look
fucking
at that track listing.
you
I really
know.
like Dude Ranch.
Yeah, that's a great record too. But the Enema of the State for '99. I mean, like as far as I mean, it still did a lot for punk rock. Like
Good
whether
writing.
people think it or not. Yeah,
What it did, is it's like a gateway.
yeah.
A lot of those kids listen to those records, and once they grew up and they grew out of that, they're like, okay, we like Blink. Now what else? Like, what is Blink like? And they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
and-
Descendants, cool.
Exactly. I was just gonna say. I mean, the amount of kids that probably went out and bought Descendants records because of Travis Barker and
Sure.
shit, like, is forget it.
Absolutely.
So it's I mean, it just that summer that record came out, like you couldn't get away from those songs, and it's like you felt guilty liking it, but it was like whatever. I
Yeah.
remember like driving to my buddy's like Jeep with top off, like driving down Sunrise Highway.
What's my age again?
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, you're
Is
like,
that
"Yo,
Antonio?"
Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna go streaking.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that.
Parker, what floor punch record did you pick?
No, man, I wish. This is definitely going to lose scene points because I'm starting with fucking Progressive, and I'm doing fucking Dream Theater Metropolis Part 2.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
You know what I was listening
Holy
to
left
today?
field.
I
was listening to John Petrucci on the Eddie
there
Trunk
you go,
podcast.
man. There he is. There he is. So
Guys,
this thing is a
brilliant
monster.
player,
It's
man.
one fucking song. I think it's like 32 minutes long, one song or something. And half the reason why I really got into this album,
Portnoy.
because A, it was one song, and B, the drums were a little bit more simplistic. I think at that point he was just like, I don't even fucking care. Either
What else does he have to prove at that
Yeah,
point?
like if you love us or hate us, I don't even fucking care. And it was one song. The tones on the drums definitely changed a little bit, which was fine. I was alright with it. But yeah, 32-minute song, and that was the entire fucking album. So that's my number 5.
Killer. My number 5 is Pedro the Lion, The Only Reason I Feel Secure.
Yeah.
I just recently covered I'm Always the One Who Calls. It's just a great record. Dave Bazan is just a really good songwriter. It's very mellow. They're one of those bands that I know whenever I put on, my girlfriend's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? She's like, what is this? It's like, this is like too depressing. I can't listen to this. I don't look at it that way. Laying at number 4.
My number 4 is Mobb Deep's Murder Music.
Banger.
Kind of slept on a little bit because that's
The one right after Hell on Earth.
right, which was infamous as legendary. Hell on Earth was fantastic,
Yeah.
and I think I don't know. I
I bailed by then.
This got as much play.
No.
I just happened. I was living above a nightclub for like a year, and and I had this album on 24/7.
Quiet Storm.
Quiet Storm was a huge fucking banger, man.
Yeah.
That and the one with the Little Kim remix, the track with Cormega.
Yeah, of course.
Cool G Raps on there. Big Noid's got there. The track Where You From with 8 Balls, one of my favorite Mobb Deep songs ever. I just again, when you listen to Mobb Deep, if you don't want to fucking rob somebody,
That's what I'm saying. I always say the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
you put
Not that
on
I
any
said-
Mobb Deep song, you don't feel like robbing
like,
someone.
you don't even realize it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a violent
Me
fella
neither,
or
but I
a
like- I
criminal.
want-
but
I
I'm
want a
like, God, I don't
pistol
know
whip.
what the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I never wanted to pistol whip people more than when I.
I don't even have a
pistol.
pistol.
Yeah, I
what
need
I'm
to
saying?
borrow one.
But I think it's an underrated Mobb Deep album.
Number
But,
4,
yeah.
Malama.
Between the Bridges by Sloan.
Okay.
Have you heard the band Sloan?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a really nice 60s, 70s thing going on, and that was, had a very 70s feel, that record. Not arena rock, but almost like, I don't know, maybe like a Alan Parsons project type
Sure.
of a vibe to it, maybe a little less hokey. But they're a great band. It was a great record. I still listen to it to this day, and
Do you think some of the Star Harbor songs sound like that?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We do have one song on there that's like 3.5 minutes of just jam.
Yeah.
So we're gonna expand that on the next record,
Okay.
assuming there's gonna be one.
Lose the fan base. Lose the fan
I'm
base.
going. I'm cutting
But
all
don't lose the
cords right
fanny
now.
pack.
Never lose the fanny pack.
First of all, never start with the fanny pack.
Ah.
Then you'll never have to lose it.
Hey,
Antonio, what are we up to?
4.
4.
Saves the day through being cool. I know some people don't like that band. It's my favorite record of theirs. I would say I'm not a huge fan, but it was one of those amazing albums to listen to while you were driving on tour.
That's their crucial album, people say. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
one.
it's just, it was so catchy, and especially on Long Island, there was a lot of people didn't like Saves the Day because they stole a member of the Strider. Remember that whole
Eben.
debacle? Yeah. So, and I was like, oh yeah, but these songs are so catchy. And when I'm driving through Arizona, and it's like, and I want to stay awake in the middle of the night, it's like,
I do the same. When I want to
good
stay
album just
awake.
put on, it's like it kicks in. It's very fast paced. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
When
I stay awake, when I want to stay awake, like if I'm driving home at like 2 or 3 in the morning from wherever show, like I got to put on something that I'm going to sing along to, and I fucking sing loud.
Oh, what's scary is my
Mayhem.
my singing record on most tours. People hated me for, and it was Madonna's Immaculate Collection. 'Cause
That's
if you
great
can't-
fucking album.
If you can't sing to that record, you're not human.
We just went to Sing Sing for my birthday, like last week, and we did Like a Prayer.
Oh.
And you never remember until you sing in this shit, and you're like, man, this is banger.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
banger.
Madonna's
Right.
got some incredible songs.
Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffat on that ass.
Is he in the drum
Yeah.
text?
No, I wish, man. Fucking only
Why don't you
wish.
add him?
Probably fucking still talk about fucking tuna fish and turkey sandwiches. Anyway.
Sugarfoot.
Yo, Chris Nolte, Ed
Love that.
Sugarfoot. All right. Number 4, Parker.
All right, number 4. This fucking band Live. Now we're getting into the fucking good shit.
Live?
This band Live. No, that was fucking like, what was that, like 02? I don't even know. Had one of the
98.
craziest fucking light shows I've ever seen. Grabbing people fucking from the audience, you know, and the band's called Botch.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Yeah, the
Oh,
album.
shit.
Yeah, the
American
album.
Nervosa?
No, We Are Romans.
Oh, We Are
yeah.
the Romans.
So has my favorite Botch title ever, and it's C. Thomas Howell as the Soul Man, which is an awesome title.
Yes.
But Live, this band, anytime that they came through Long Island, I would be there. They never really did that well here, which fucking shocked me. I mean, I saw them at Ground Zero, actually, with an old Eddie Reyes band, Runner Up.
Yeah.
And I think that there
Inside
was...
played with them twice.
Yeah, and I think that Ground Zero show, there was maybe, I don't know, 30 people there.
Yeah.
But they still fucking went off, did all the lights, did the whole full fucking set, and it was awesome.
And then they went on to do
Minus the Bear.
Minus the Bear.
Yeah.
The guitar player.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
actually good friends with his wife.
Yeah.
I met her in California
You want to
when I
admit
was
that
an
on
inside.
air?
Nothing ever happened.
Okay.
Nothing ever happened.
I'm
She's
not
just a
sure. I
friend.
didn't know where we were
Little
going.
disclaimer.
When I met her on tour when I was an inside, and when we reconnected on Facebook, I was like, "You have a lot of pictures with Dave from Minus the Bear," and she's like, "That's my husband." And I was like,
Nice.
crazy.
God bless.
Cool, yeah.
God
Great
bless
band.
you. Yeah.
That's more my shit.
Yeah,
Menos el oso.
yeah, I like them both.
My number
4.
What am I for?
4.
Yeah.
Jeez, how did I forget? My number 4 is Keep It Like a Secret, Built to Spill.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Jeez,
It's my favorite record of theirs.
yeah, it's a masterpiece. It's
Great songwriting.
Doug March is like an indie rock songwriter, but he shreds so fucking hard. And they've been around forever, and this is I think this is like their masterpiece. They're going to be performing it in October somewhere in Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to be there, so I'm sure.
Good for you, man.
Good for me.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for you, young man.
Way to go.
Yeah, Built to Spill. Keep it like a secret. And actually, what I'm going to do, like which I do with all the episodes that we mention a lot of songs on, I'm going to do a Spotify's playlist of all the shit that we mentioned. So
Love it.
number 3.
My number 3 is Inspector Deck's Uncontrolled Substance. He's my favorite Wu-Tang member, always was. Love his
Chris
references.
Nolte. Sorry.
There you go. Say.
His clear delivery, all that. I think there's banger tracks on there. Femme Fatale, Movers and Shakers, Rec Room is bananas.
That's Rec Room is my shit.
I remember because I was living in Jersey City at the time, and I would go down to down by the basketball courts, down by Washington Square Park, pick up a 10-piece of the brick, roll up an L, and stay up for Stretch Armstrong every Sunday night and shit like that. And they were playing.
Hell yeah.
I still had them on cassette. The ODB deck would all come in there, and they would always. Stretch Armstrong was using the Rec Room beat, like everybody's freestyle
Yeah.
at the time. I was like, oh my God, what is that? When I found out it was on this record.
Yep.
And it's I know there was he had a fire or something like that and lost some tracks.
Yes.
Was there some story like that?
Yeah,
so some
all the
people feel
beats.
it's incomplete, and there
Yes.
is some filler on it. Don't get me wrong, but show me a Wu-Tang album besides like Liquid Swords and a couple others that doesn't have some filler.
Sure.
But where it hits, it's
It
home
hits.
runs.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah, it's a good
what-
one. I was really, we as fans, we were waiting for that Deck record for so long,
for real.
and he was like the second to last one to put one out.
He was coming out on everybody's shit, dropping like
Yeah.
just killer guest verses and shit,
Yeah.
but never we wanted that whole record.
which
to
is
itself.
which is why I'm glad he found Czarface, and now he gets to
Oh, I
continuously
love that
make
Czarface
records, so.
shit, man. That new one too.
Very
Fire.
good. The beats on that.
Lit as
number-
fuck, Ron Grimaldi, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Ron and the word lit.
We're allowed to say that
He
for
was-
hip hop, a reference.
Oh yeah, no, we
I got to
are.
pass on that.
Yeah, because I was like, yo, that Maiden song's a banger. He's like, you can't say Iron Maiden and banger.
The look on his, the disappointment on his face. I still see it. It wakes me up at night. Almost. Go ahead. Sorry.
Llama 3.
Blue by Third Eye Blind.
Oh yes.
I love that record, man.
So good.
Just
Great songwriter.
Super rock. Just crazy. I mean, there's a lot of heavy, hard rock and shit on there. It's amazing production.
He's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
Banged Shirley's Theron, which is
good for
very
him.
nice in her
Is it
prime.
Blue BLUE
Yeah.
or EW?
No, no, UE.
I always said that.
And
Yeah.
to bring it back to Jimmy Eat World, they're doing a tour.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna
going.
bring your son to.
Yeah,
going.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, so it's Rah Rah
I'll be there.
Riot, which I love.
I love them.
Jimmy Eat World and Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, that's gonna be good
Nice.
times
Psyched.
at Jones Beach, man.
Yeah.
You're bringing your son, right?
Bring
His
my,
first show.
son.
Good for
And
you.
actually, no,
I'll see
his
you there.
first show was Butch Walker, and Butch Walker actually brought him on stage.
Nice.
My daughter's also going with her mom because she's into Jimmy Eat World too. So it's crazy to see my little ones.
That's awesome.
now,
I'm
yeah.
dying to take my kid to his first show.
That's
To
great.
his
trying to
first
pick the
Jimmy Eat
perfect-
Burger
That'd
show.
be great.
Well, I was gonna take him to that food truck fest, the
Oh.
Black Label Society thing,
Sweet.
and it just didn't happen and stuff. But I was like, it'd be perfect, It's a
Yeah.
festival and fucking,
Food truck.
it's
Yeah.
And the
perfect.
food trucks, yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
out for like Burzum or somebody.
Yeah, probably not gonna. It's probably gonna be. It'll probably be Black Label Society because it's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's free tickets.
Stage potato.
Anyway,
Stage potato.
I'll teach 'em all
Antonio,
about it.
number three.
Three.
Yeah, Hot Water Music No Division, which they are playing in its entirety in Brooklyn in a couple months. They're doing their
April
anniversary
26th.
tour. Yeah, so I'll be going to that faux show. Actually, have an extra ticket. If anyone needs one, hit me up in that DM.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Slide
yeah,
into his DMs.
and that. But yeah, Hot Water Music is one of my favorite bands, and
That record came out in '99.
that record came out in '99. No Division.
Uh-oh.
Look that
Yeah.
shit up.
You might have fucked up
And
like me.
it's tough too because it's like back to back with Caution, which is usually everyone's favorite Hot Water Music record, but No Division
Not
is
the
so
real
good.
fans. No Division is the one.
That's my jam. There's so many there's just so many good tracks, and there's
Walter Schreifels produced it.
it was on Walter's label. Much like Aerotype 11 had an EP on that
Yep.
label that year also. The Crank EP, which I wanted to give an honorable mention to since it's on the same label and they're friends. Aerotype 11 is actually going to play that show
That's right.
with them because of that, and Iron Cheek. So
Yep.
that's gonna be a fun Friday night in Brooklyn.
Nice.
There you go. Parker, number three.
Number three, my
Floor Punch.
No, my one and only fucking Christian band that I put on there,
Ah.
and it was a band called Zayo.
Zayo, I knew it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, Liberate ex inferis, which means, what the fuck does it mean? Save yourself from hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal. I mean, opening with this crazy fucking intro. I mean, Jesse, the drummer, was just a fucking animal. I mean,
He used to face not the crowd.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He
he
used
would-
to face his drum set
yeah.
away from the crowd.
Yeah.
It was always insane to watch.
Right.
I mean, the first time that I heard this band, I was like, holy fucking shit, this guy sounds exactly like the singer of Carcass. I'm like, how is this possible? And just brutal music. I mean, brutal live. I had the chance. I think I played with them 2 or 3 times, which
We
was
played
always
with them in California.
Did
Yeah.
you play with them at the swing set?
might have. Yeah,
I think you guys
might have,
did.
Yeah. When the kid went through the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, that was at the church.
Oh, that was the
That
Unitarian
was the
church.
Unitarian
Yes,
church.
yes.
Oh, and wasn't it wasn't it Sarah Seeger's ass went through the window in that
Maybe,
show?
maybe.
Because she
I
was
don't
standing
know.
on a chair.
Yeah.
And everyone hit into them. And I just remember, boom. Yeah. that was
R.I.P.
crazy.
ass.
I remember, real quick, let's just bring it to an old inside story. I remember a fight broke
boy.
out. No, it's a good story, though. I remember a fight broke out
of course, we were
at,
brutal.
at an inside show, and I went up to somebody, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck happened? He goes, a fight at an emo show inside a church. And that's all you needed to know.
Yep.
So I was like, okay.
All right.
But yeah, number
Friday
three.
night sissy fights.
Number 3, Zayo.
Friday night sissy. Good call on Zayo, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is Wilco, Summer Teeth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when I was, I don't know, 2002, my sister, who every now and then got me into some things that I would not normally listen to, she had on, maybe she bought Wilco? I feel like she did. And I heard the song Camera off of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I've been ignoring this band for so long. Because they were one of those bands that were mentioned, they were like critic darlings, and you would always see them like Best of the Year and this, and it's like, I don't give a fuck who these people are. So once I heard that song, I started listening to Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and then I went backwards. And then I got to Summer Teeth, which is like Radiohead meets like the fucking Beach Boys meets like fucking Springsteen. It's just like fucking amazing songwriting. The production is bananas. One of the best records, probably my favorite Wilco record, which is a very big statement, but I think it's definitely my favorite because it's just the songwriting is just insane. It's so good, so smart, so talented, and one of the best live bands I've ever seen. So,
my number 2, Mos Def, Black on Both Sides.
Fat Booty.
That's such a great song.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's such a versatile record. It's hard to even just not. You can't just call it a hip hop record. You know,
Like
it's,
Umi says.
I love that. That's one of my favorite songs.
Great
like,
song, catchy.
period.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like that. Rock and roll. He just expands. He's so versatile. That dude, man. Crazy talented, and the music's all over the place. The beats are amazing. I remember a live show that was I can't remember where I saw it around then. I think he was using I think he had the Bad Brains as his backing band at one point. I believe Dr.
Yeah,
No and all those guys were
Wow.
playing with him. And I was like, wow, you know, but like fearless, you know, and then like a kind of way Outkast would, you know, not by the conventional trappings of hip hop, and really
He had a rock band called Black Jack Johnson. And they were supposed to make a record, and it never happened. I remember around that time, maybe like 2002, they might have even done an episode of the HBO show Reverb.
Oh, sure.
So Reverb had some cool shit. That was like I saw like Weezer, Guided by Voices, Mos Def, really fun stuff. So.
yeah, amazing record. Still holds up too. Brilliant.
He's
I wish he put out more. I wish he was a little more prolific because it seemed like, you know,
I think he's just doing whatever the fuck
he's doing his
wants.
thing, but I wanted more music.
Sure,
you know
sure.
what I mean? But he's doing everything.
Yeah.
That guy's
he's
fucking
definitely the
talented.
epitome of an artist.
Yeah, brilliant
Like,
dude.
and
All right.
just really paints it.
Malamo number 2.
Number 2, I had the unauthorized biography of Reinhold Messner by Ben Folds 5. Yeah, that was their second full length.
Second full length.
Yeah, yeah.
Never got into them
Yeah.
until I started dating Karen. She loves them. She made me.
Yeah.
We went to go see Ben Folds at the Space in Westbury.
My sister was there.
And I realized like he's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
Great melodies.
Great
fucking piano player.
That album, have you ever listened to that record? The
I'm
second
sure
one?
I have.
Yeah,
I've listened to all of them and then the solo records.
It's an amazing record. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
number,
2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is without.
You and I have the same number 2 for sure. Number 2 and 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do. It's the Get Up Kids, something to write home about.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite Get Up Kids record? I don't think so, but I mean, it's a phenomenal record. To none of the boot. I mean, I have a tattoo from it on my leg. My picture is actually in the liner notes. If you look on the inside fold of the CD, the top left-hand corner is me standing behind the drummer with a video camera at Coney Island High, recording it for Dubin so he could take pictures. He was like,
Shout
"Can you
out to
run the
Dubin.
video camera?" I was
Fucking
like, "All right,
Dubin.
dude." And it wasn't.
Dubin always gave everyone a job.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like when the poster came out to promote it, you could see it, and in the vinyl record, you can't. In the CD, it's like maybe that's Antonio, but, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that album just beginning to end. I mean,
Beginning to end, sure. And it's one of those bands that it's funny how hardcore audiences embrace them.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though they weren't they sounded nothing like a hardcore band.
no,
Sure.
and yeah, it's hard to find. I don't think I'm friends with anyone that has ever said to me they hate the Get Up Kids.
Yeah.
There's people that might be
Parker.
like, it's not my cup of tea.
It's not that I'm not. I don't hate them. They're
Sarah
just-
Parker?
Yeah, they're just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
can say it's not a band
They're
for
just
you,
there.
but
Yeah.
nobody's like, oh, I hate that.
You played with them at Deja.
A couple of times
Yeah.
we played with
Well,
them.
we had-
the show you announced you were breaking up,
Yeah,
they played.
right.
Adam and his package.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was on that too, right?
That's
Now it's
right.
Malamo in his package. Yeah, we had Matt
Full
Pryor
circle.
on like episode 7 or something.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
we talked to him. I remember
That was
Blaine
your first
can go.
remote spot.
Yeah, we
AMH.
We did it at AMH, and it's funny because we didn't know how to podcast. We were just like trying to figure shit out.
Some say we don't really know
Yeah.
now.
So Dave and I were like, yo, let's set, my bass player Dave, we're like, let's set the fucking table up on stage. And we were like, cool. Yeah, it's going to look so cool. So we set everything up, right? Remember that?
Yep.
We put everything up on stage, and we were like, we're going to do the podcast right up on this stage. So it was Matt Pryor and Dan Andriano from Alkaline Trio. And Dan walks in. He's like, what's going on stage? And then we were just like, what? He's like, I got a sound check. And I was just like, oh, shit, of course. What were we thinking? Like, it's like, we're like in the middle
They
of
didn't
the show.
readjust their schedule for us. Didn't they know we were
So
coming?
we had to move. We were just like jerk offs. Had no idea. We're like, we're gonna do it on the stage, and it's like, asshole, the show's going on, motherfucker. Like people are
So
sound
funny.
checking.
Show first, podcast second.
Yeah.
Sorry for my bad Dan Andriano lisp thing. I can't do it. So
Did he
number
also sound like he was holding his nose?
yeah, Parker. I think Parker asked him one question.
I don't even know if I asked him.
I think you stared at him.
I was wearing a Coalesce shirt, and then
man.
and then he looks at me. He's like, "Man," he's like, "You're really quiet." And I was just like, "Yes." Kind of backed off the mic, and he's like, "Is that a Coalesce shirt?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "That's cool." And that was like the end of it. That was the end of it.
I edited it right out.
Yeah.
So Parker, number 2. What Floor Punch record? Did
No,
you pick?
man. So number 2 is one of those bands like a Metallica or a Slayer that just the entire catalog from beginning to end I love. Funny enough, though, since this did come out in this year, it's actually my least favorite from this band. But they had to put this out first to change their style, and the name of the band is called Cave-In.
Cave-In.
And it's Creative Eclipses. So it was a 5-song CD that came out, and the first song was called Luminous, and that was the first song that started that whole, failure-ish space rock that, they changed into Jupiter.
They were on that album's on my top 10.
Yeah.
Not in the top 5. But in the
and
top
they do
10.
the 5 songs, and they ended it with a failure cover for Magnified. What a better way to end it. So, I mean, that's actually my least favorite Cave-In album, but they had to put that out to transition into, Jupiter and everything else.
Which
after
is
that.
more my flavor of Cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of I love that one, but
Yeah.
I kind of left it off because I'm like, do EPs count?
Yeah.
Because like we were saying, like
Parker has no
Shame.
No.
He
It was either that or Seven Dust, man, so I went Cave-In. So.
I feel
if
it.
there's a
I played
rule-
I played a show at 7.
There you go, say.
he has no regard for any podcast rules.
Nah, fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
All right, my number 2 is probably their number 1. So my number 2 is Jim Eat World's Clarity. This record, I think Static Prevails is amazing.
It's fucking amazing.
Fucking Robot Factory, like so many great songs on there. The only record I don't like is that first weird self-titled one, but then they had a really amazing streak. But for Clarity, like Table for Glasses, Crush,
For me, this is heaven.
yeah, it's just like
it's
banger after
On a Sunday?
Yeah, on a Sunday. It's
dude,
just so goddamn.
Fucking
Heart-wrenching.
xylophone, like in the beginning of it, like. Boom, boom, boom,
I'm
boom.
like,
you're like,
how-
yay!
You're listening to these melodies and
Yeah.
these guitar
And
parts.
the rhythms.
Yeah.
The rhythms on there. Think of On a Sunday and Goodbye Sky Harbor, just that driving
Yeah.
rhythm that never relents. I can listen to that all day.
It's
all day.
well, you
Dude,
you'll,
you know what?
you can
know
bring
what
it
I
up.
don't know about it. Though? Who
on your
produced
number
that record?
Because
Because I
It's
mean,
a
even
great
the
question.
mix is
the guitar
fucking
player for Floor
fantastic.
Punch.
Nice. Fucking Jersey represent.
No, it was Justin Beck.
No, Beck did Antarabe. That I know for a fact.
Yeah, man. Number 2, Clarity, Crush. I mean, I remember doing recently. Well, not recently. Like the last few years, some friends of mine, we wanted to do a Jimmy Eat World cover set, and we did that for a few years, and it was a lot of fun to just play these songs. So cool. Man, Jimmy Eat World, Clarity, my number 2. So that's number 1 for you.
My number 1. Well, first, before I do my number 1, just want a quick shout out to something that didn't make the list. The DJ Shadow and Cut Chemist Brain Freeze mix. It's all over YouTube. I'll post clips of it later. It's not very popular, obviously, but it's amazing. Everything DJ Shadow does is great. Around the late 90s, he was untouchable. And the Sugar Fragger show CDs 2, 3, and 4 came out that year, which is the Invisible Scratch Pickles. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I think DJ Cubert's the greatest scratch DJ in history, as good as Rock Raider, any of those fucking guys. He's amazing. He invented all the crabbing technique that, I mean, someone might fact check me on that if someone gives a shit, but I think he was the first one I knew that crabbed the way he did, that everybody did it. But anyway,
the documentary Scratch has all that.
yeah, he's a genius. If you talk about turntablists as musicians, he's the definition. That guy does insane shit with his hands and records. But my number one is the Sound Bombing 2 compilation.
Oh, fuck.
Which
Yeah.
it might be the greatest hip hop compilation. I mean, it's to have that many different artists, tracks, producers, whatever, and none of it's whack, man.
It's the only Eminem song that Mike Malamo likes.
Oh, word?
Gonna bring that up.
Any man.
Thank you.
It's a great
Beat
song,
Junkies.
and I love the format of it with Babu spinning the cuts in between. It's like a mixtape, you know what I mean? But it's a regular, legit album. 1999 with Common.
yeah.
That track is so goddamn. That's another one Stretch Armstrong was playing every fucking show back then, man.
7XL.
It
7XL is the bomb.
Crosstown Beat.
World War
Crosstown
III.
Beat.
The Pharoah song is ridiculous. Oh my god.
Most Def, Medina Green, Company Flow, R.A. the Rugged Man.
Patriots.
Who the
Yeah.
fuck's not? I don't even
don't
know.
know
There's
none
not
of
a
those.
weak spot on
No.
it for me.
So
And,
yeah, because R.A.'s on there with Stanley
He don't
Kubrick.
like that track,
he doesn't
right?
like that track.
I love it.
But he like, man, when we first listened to that shit, I'm like, yo, he's shouting out Stony Brook, Port Jeff,
Word.
and all this other shit. I'm like, man, this Gordon Heights. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Great compilation, and Raucous was the top of like underground hip hop for
No
like
doubt.
a few, like what Def Jux did
Mm-hmm.
after, like Raucous, just like they brought it to there. Like the ending of Raucous like brought along the Def Jux era,
Mm-hmm.
and Sound Bombing 2 was the best out of the 3 Sound Bombing compilations.
No
for
question.
sure.
I played the shit out of it.
Yep.
It was like in my play, legit, like not coming out.
You
for-
guys get ready to jerk off over their Spotify playlist. So
Unfortunately,
In between-
that is not on Spotify.
I'll figure it out.
Which actually,
yeah,
I've been
that's one
going
of those
through
things.
reorganize on a sudden, not to drone on and on, but no.
Well, now you're
turn the
getting two
floor
Zayo
over.
songs.
But like I've been going through my whole MP3 collection, which
Yeah.
is massive. You know what I mean? And looking for those albums that never made it to the streaming world and
Yeah.
rediscovering some of those records.
Well,
you
we're
know?
talking about De La Soul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
perfect
see that?
They're
that-
working
yeah,
on.
yeah,
I saw you post.
Yeah.
Did you post that?
Against,
Yeah.
Tommy
Yeah,
Boy.
that's awesome.
Well, I looked, and what happened was because once you start doing the Apple Music, the Spotify world, you're like, where the fuck are all these De La Soul records? And it was just that contract dispute. And
sample clearing too, right? Wasn't there some shit with that?
sample stuff too, but it's also Tommy Boy. Even once they clear it, supposedly they're doing like a 90% to 10
Yeah, the
split.
splits.
Like they're just not
Booty.
happy. But
Tommy ain't my motherfucking
that's
boy.
right.
That's
Tommy
right.
ain't my motherfucking boy. But still, just to get the music out there, I'm sure that they'll be happy because it helps the younger generation discover De La Soul, and then from
Sure.
there, once they start, because they have a record coming out with Pete Rock,
Yep.
and another one coming out with DJ Premier. Like that's all you have to say. That's
Yeah.
it.
Please.
Say no more, fam.
Yeah, legends.
Number one, Mike Malamo.
Clarity.
Same
Yeah.
with you, right?
Yeah, the clarity.
What's your favorite song on there, Mike? It better be the right answer. 'cause I'll
I know.
Shut this mic off right now.
I would say either Goodbye Sky Harbor or On a Sunday.
Okay.
So, it's my favorite record. I also have lyrics from it tattooed on my wrist.
For what song?
So, feelings change so fast. Safety scares them away.
Okay.
And if I could have fit the next line, I can't bring myself to say it. It's my own advice I need is like, one of those things that I've applied to my life so many times. Like I said, I can't stop listening to that album. And then an honorable mention, because I didn't add EPs on this, is At the Drive-In Via.
Love it.
Probably my favorite At the Drive-In record, and it's just so different, so good, so
Chaos.
experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I never forget. Actually, the first time I saw them, they were opening up for the Get Up Kids and Hot Rod Circuit. And I'm in the back of the club with General George, and we were like, what the fuck did we just witness?
Yeah.
To the point where we ended up talking to the Get Up Kids afterwards, and they got us on the guest list to go see them the next day in Rhode Island, and we just hopped in my car and we went.
Just want.
And we were like, we need to see this again. I need to make sure that this actually happened.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Taking Back Sunday, we played with them at the bowling alley in Garden City with this year's model and...
I wasn't there,
Brand
but
new?
that's a show that everyone mentions. They're like
It's
at the
like
drive-in at Garden City.
Because
Wow.
the fire marshal almost shut the show down, and we had to remove the stage. Then at the drive-in, playing on the floor, they were running up and down fucking lanes, sliding and fucking yelling and going ape shit. And I remember they had promos for Relationship Under Command, so that hadn't even come out yet.
Wow.
And it was just they were just chaotic.
Yeah.
I mean that it was just
Beastie
unbelievable.
Boys, Mike D's record label, Graham Royal.
Yep.
Oh, right. Oh, also shout out to Gangstar's Full Clip from that year, which is my honorable mention.
Okay. Compilation.
Kind of
right?
comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Can't go wrong.
Wood floor punch
Fucking Clarity. Man. Let's go Clarity for fucking me, you know?
Yeah.
Gonna lose a lot of points on this one probably, but
again.
probably again. So
You're
bought this at Looney Tunes. Fucking listened to it all fucking summer. Saw them at the beach, open for 311. Incubus, Make Yourself.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, you weren't kidding about losing points.
Yeah.
Let's just go right over that one.
We are now in the red.
I'm skipping that one on the playlist.
Damn.
Is that the one? What's that one called again?
What? Make Yourself.
Make Yourself.
It's got Pardon Me, all the fucking...
Is Drive on there?
Yes.
Drive's a banger. Drive's a
big
banger.
hit.
Can't
I
say
like that
banger.
song.
Yeah,
It's not lit either.
I actually hung out with the bass player once at a Mets game.
Nice.
Because he was kind of hanging out with a friend of mine, and we were sitting together. Really, he was actually really cool. I wanted to be like, oh, I don't like your band at all, but you're really cool.
Yeah. I want to say, since we're talking about sports, who won the 1999 World Series, by the way? Does anyone
Yankees.
remember? The Yankees.
Yeah,
Oh.
Just
right.
making sure. Just
Yeah,
want to throw it out there.
I'm gonna say Tigers.
Who won the 2000?
Shut your mouth.
Yankees beat the Mets 2000. All right, my number one is the Get Up Kids, Something to Write Home About. The best Get Up Kids record. My band would cover Holiday. And it's funny, I never really gave it much thought. And I remember covering Holiday, and Mike Andriani, after we were done playing it, he's like, Superchunk Jr. And I was like, huh. I was like, I guess the Get Up Kids really do kind of sound like Superchunk when you really think about it. But Something to Write Home About, fantastic, love it. It's my favorite Get Up Kids record. And that's it. Number one record of 1999.
Nice.
Now,
There you go.
I'm just going to mention 5 hip-hop records because I had to cheat. I couldn't let it go.
Sure.
I couldn't let it go. And I have to add it on the playlist. So
Yeah, I have a couple of hip hop albums that didn't make my list. But
I have Prince Among Thieves, Prince
Nice.
Paul.
Right.
Great compilation, just like Sound Bombing. Great De La Soul record on there. The
Sure.
Roots, Things Fall Apart.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome Boy Modeling School. And then 2 records that are not as known but are very good. So The High and Mighty was a group, and they're from Philadelphia. They were also on the Sound Bombing record. They put out a record called Home Field Advantage, which rules. And then the last record I'm going to mention is by a group called The Arsonist. So I do another podcast called If I Rule the World. I got to talk to Q Unique, which meant the world to me, and he was
Awesome.
super cool. The show was fantastic. What a cool dude, man. And he was in a group called The Arsonist, and they put out a record called As the World Burns, and it's fantastic. It's one of the best underground hip-hop records on the planet, and it was on Matador Records. Matador Records at the time, which was very strange. It was them and Nonfiction that were both on there. So
yeah, and Dre's 2001
okay, yeah,
came out in '99.
Yep.
And I love that record.
yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that didn't put out tons of records.
Two.
I
Well,
fucking
under
love-
his name.
Under his name.
Yeah,
He's hit or miss with me sometimes.
he's hit or miss.
You know
but-
what? To me, he's like a baseball player that hits like 250.
Yeah.
But when he gets up to bat, he he hits a home run every fucking.
He's like
He hits a home run or he
Or
strikes,
strikes
out.
out.
He's
You
like,
know what I mean?
Oh, that was like Daryl Strawberry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
but
gonna
those home runs are like
dare. Don't
deep
you dare.
into.
I was gonna say Steve Balboni or like Ken Phelps for the Yankees.
I mean, the Chronic's perfect, obviously, but it's just
Yeah,
like
the
like
Chronic's
Eminem. I always loved his flow, but I always thought he suffered from Dre's production.
he did because Eminem. You know, it's funny. Like in closing here, so we could finish up.
Yeah, I digress.
You know, the last bracket that we did was Eminem's Slim Shady LP versus the Beatnuts, and Jerry Smith not
Shit, I
knowing
missed that vote.
Jerry Smith not knowing shit about anything. Okay, guy like
Not afraid to have opinion. You gotta respect.
Yeah,
it.
definitely. I don't know what you're talking about, but here's my opinion anyway.
Sense.
Here's my 2 cents. I'm like, you like Chicago and Steely Dan. When I need that opinion, I'll ask.
Just
So
the early
he
Chicago.
writes. He writes. Yeah, that's true. He
First
writes
3 albums.
Eminem is horrible, and I'm thinking like, how can you say Eminem is horrible? Lyrically and flow wise, he's amazing. It's his production and his hooks that are straight garbage.
Yeah.
but
And he
the
has no
hooks
beats.
Are terrible,
Never any
Terrible.
beats.
awful.
His beats are awful.
But as a wordsmith, please,
Yeah.
you can't deny that shit. It
It's-
can't be
Yeah,
denied.
yeah. He's
Like,
he-
remember when he's just coming out and he was doing, like, he pop up on mixtapes
Yeah.
and shit like
Yeah.
that on Stretch Armstrong.
Killing
He was just like, come on and do these ridiculous freestyle. You didn't hear nobody.
and
flip
he-
shit like
and
that.
he is a
Ever.
real
Ungodly.
Yeah,
he's a real MC.
totally.
Now,
Battle
the,
rapper.
The only pet peeve that I have, or like when people that don't listen to hip hop and are borderline racist, they say my favorite rapper is Eminem.
Right.
That's
wonder
that's when
why.
I play the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, well, why is he your favorite rapper? Like, what is it like? You can't think of any other hip. You hate rap music, yet you like Eminem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
Right.
It's funny because one of my favorite rappers put out an album that year, and it's my least favorite of all his records.
Which one?
What's that?
Nas.
Oh,
I
yeah,
Am?
it's my least.
No.
Was it?
I am.
No,
I
Nos,
Am.
Nostradamus. No, Nostradamus.
99?
It came out in 99.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Then
Let's go
then
to the
it's two
videotape.
records.
It's,
Yeah,
it's in. Check the Google. He might have done two, and that's
Neither one is good.
yeah.
no. That was a bad
was
year for
written
him.
and
It was written
the
in
last thing I
Illmatic.
kind of liked.
No,
for
but
him for a
he had
long
some good
time.
records. But anyway, listen, I digress.
We could do this
'Cause I'll be editing.
all night.
I'll be editing till I die.
Langan's got to be in work in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well
So.
just go right there.
Yeah. Just give Sarah a ride to the gym.
There you go. Say what up.
The other day, Parker's wife is like, I was fucking, was she right? That she saw somebody like rollerblading or something?
Oh yeah, like
People still do
345 or something.
Yeah,
And that was just-
1999.
Or is it?
Yeah.
But look up I Am when that came out. And I was like, like the both of you. were out.
1999, busy boy.
Yeah,
made
so
two
two records.
mediocre
Yeah.
records. No.
Well, if he spent some quality time on the album, he would have put out one good one.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. That's it.
All
So
good.
this was our revisiting of 1999. This was our bullshitting in the beginning.
Sure.
I will edit the shit out of this, and that's it. This is our episode for the month of February because it seems that's what we do.
Yeah,
We
you
got
know.
it in.
Snuck it in.
Got it in at the wire.
You gotta leave
Yeah.
motherfuckers wanting
Yeah,
more.
that's it. And you
You
know
know?
what? You got a two
That's
plus
what we
hour
do.
fucking episode there.
Yeah.
It's like a box
Yeah,
set.
we didn't come in here and half step this shit.
No.
This is a full proper show.
This episode goes out to Davey Bright out
Word.
in the UK.
Oh, Davey Bright's the man.
I
Love
gave
him.
you all a lot of homework.
That's
Listening.
right.
Shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike Malamo.
Sorry about getting the year wrong in that movie too. I just fucked everything up.
fuck it.
Mike
I'm usually
Malamo.
really good about that.
Mike Malamo, thanks for coming for
Yes.
Good to be here again.
number 5.
Never gets
Antonio,
old.
thanks for coming.
Antonio
Oh, yeah.
Luongo. Shout out. Shout out.
Luongo. Me and Keith
Next
were
time
like,
you come, I feel like we gotta get you like a gold watch,
Trophy or
like
some
a
shit.
smoking jacket
I-
with your
I'm
number
glad I
on
finally
there.
made it
or.
on.
Either
I've been
or.
asking this guy.
Presidential suite.
Yeah, anything.
cool. So we'll check out the music that you guys do and all that other shit. And that's
Word.
it. Goodbye.
Cheers.